Yo, what's going on, my people? This is Brown and Six with another episode of the Brown Experience. And today's topic, we're going to be discussing obesity versus fit versus health. We're going to be discussing all that here on the Brown Experience. Anyone that has been experiencing something like, diabetes, something to the effect of um, an unhealthy lifestyle because of the fact that we live in America, and for us, like, it's just so hard to like eat healthy, right? Or is it just excuses? What is it? You know what I mean? So we're gonna talk all about that. You know what I mean? To see what La Raza has to say about that, and what the people have to say about why is it that a large majority of us are unhealthy, are obese. You know what I mean? Like I'm overweight. Like why? You know what I mean? Uh, for myself, like I know, what exercise does to the body, which is a real good thing. We make excuses de todo. You know what I mean? Like we today, not today. Today I had a rough day at work. Today, you know, the kids got on my fucking nerves today. De todas, you know what I mean? De todas le echamos, bro. Pero we need to we need to start getting away from that mentality. I'm just sending all these requests to la gente para que we can have some good pláticas in regards to this topic. But we need to get away from that way of thinking, that way of approaching life, regarding our health. We put our health like at the very end, right? We don't take our health serious until it's too late. You know what I mean? Like it's too late. Ya anda uno todo valiendo verga in the hospital and shit. Ya, you know what I mean? That's kind of too late though. But it's never too late. Let's just put it that way. It's never too late to pick up the slack. Um, as for being healthier. But let me send this request over to. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about obesity, or basically unhealthy versus a healthy lifestyle. Um, and I do want to go over a lot of things that we actually go live through in the barrios, in communities of color. We lived all we see a lot of things that is like we compare it to other more, I guess you could say, wealthier parts of town. Um, and it doesn't seem right. Some parts just don't seem right. You're like, wait, hold on. Didn't I just see all these liquor stores back where I'm staying at? Liquor stores, fucking fast food restaurants. But wait, now I'm in the nicer part of town. Like, wait, what is this organic shit I see? What is this? All this, you start looking at things a little different. But let's see who wants to jump on and get the conversation started. Anyways, how's everyone doing? Another Thursday, getting down with another topic. How we do. So yes, like I was saying, like I want to hear the like a brief background of people, of what they went through growing up. Like what did they have to go through growing up? What type of foods did they like have to like eat and stuff like that. I mean, just a little bit about myself. Like, it was nothing but just like everything refried, and it was just, I guess, based on what was readily available in the barrio, right? It was mostly like just refried things. What's up, Cal? And we're talking about obesity, bro. Obesity and a healthy life versus a healthy lifestyle in the hoods, right? In the barrios. Um, and how come we can't change that? Like, why is it's actually on the, it's actually increasing instead of a decline, you know what I mean? But it's, like I was saying, like for me, like my family, they fed me nothing but like, fattening shit, like, fried chicken, fucking fried fish, fried everything, you know what I mean? Refried. If it wasn't enough the first time, frying beans, refrying the motherfuckers, like refried beans, like ain't that some shit? But that's the type of stuff we went through. We go through that, and then you start putting the pieces together once you're growing up, thinking like, okay, okay, so this is kind of like, if it fits together, like, you put, what's up, Steven?
What's up,
You
Brown?
put you put all these elements in front of you, and then expect not to, for it not to backfire on you. Of course, it's gonna fuck you up.
Man, this is a very interesting topic that you're doing for tonight because a lot of people are battling through obesity. And what I notice is if you're in the ghetto or the inner city where I'm at in Long Beach, every 2 or 3 blocks is a 7-Eleven. And the markets that they have is very unhealthy for us. And when you go to these rich areas, you don't see these type of markets or 7-Elevens because they don't want that. It's all vegan and it's all hipster stuff and everything's all healthy. I remember when I used to work at Sprouts Farmers Market, I used to be so like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that." But to be honest, and let's be very frank about this, when it comes to our people, with these high-end expensive foods that we have to get, is they just really can't afford it. So that's why a lot of people go to markets like Food for Less, Wenco's, Northgate Market, and all that stuff. And I just bought a book called The Bible of Dr. Sabi. It tells you how to get healthy. And a lot of the foods that we eat, it's not good for us. Like when you have like, oh, I'm gonna have asada tacos. That meat's not good for us. We have to have a substitute and all that. Drink water when it comes to beers and all. And let's not forget, Brown. A lot of our people, they work graveyards. And how you gonna sleep? How you going to work out, how you going to eat certain things, because when you're working overnights or this whatever, there's fast foods everywhere to the point. How you going to work out? Because there's Jack in the Box, there's McDonald's, there's this and all that. It's hard, and the heart and the body can't take it. And that's why in a way, a lot of our people, the age of lifespan for us is probably going to be in the 60s to maybe about the age of 45 for men.
Dang, that cuts our life super short. That's crazy.
If you think,
And you know what?
mm-hmm.
It's even crazier in Mexico. I'm hearing there's a higher percentage of people that are dealing with obesity out there more than out here. Over there, like this, it seems like Coca-Cola is really, really focusing in on Mexico. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of these corporations are putting a lot of corn syrup, a lot of stuff that's not really good for our bodies. If you look into a study of the United States, how the men's health is, and also in the UK, they cut back on a lot of sugar. Less sugar this, less sugar that, and all. Just but everyone wants salt. Everyone wants sodium. Everyone wants sweet and this soda and all that. But we gotta just we gotta try to eat healthy now because a lot of people are dying left and right. And when you're stressed out, you're going through a lot of depression or whatever. There's a lot of people that when I'm stressed out, I'm gonna eat a lot of food just to cure our depression. But it's just making us more overweight and this whatever, and it's more harder to get back in shape and everything. So what I've been trying to do is trying to do a lot of fasting now, and just like 6-7 days ago, I lost like maybe 10 pounds at the start because I used to weigh over 375 pounds.
Mm.
And for my size, I'm about 5'9", 5'10". My normal weight size should be about 170, maybe 180 if you're really fit, but not 375. So it's hard to get back in shape, but it's the food that's all around us. I mean, we just eat, party, drink, beers, monsters, everything is this. We just got to have a time where we just need to rest our heart and rest our body.
Real quick, bro, how's your son doing,
He
man?
just got discharged a couple hours ago. So, what my son had is called a canatonia. It's a rare disease where it kind of happens every couple months or maybe once a year where his body shuts down. And what I looked into it is because of, there's going to be a lot of kids like this going through some depression and they don't know how to overcome it and everything. So when they're overwhelmed with depression or anxiety in this, their bodies just shuts down to the point they're like frozen up, and we got to take them to the hospital right away so they can get them better. Because if you neglect what my son has, there's going to be diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and brain disease, which might end up leading to my son to be a vegetable.
I'm glad he's getting better, bro. I know that those conditions are kind of hard to deal with, man. I know there's a lot that goes into rehab, like a rehab thing afterwards, right? Because they have to like recoup their feelings and their extremities and all that, right?
hmm Yeah, and that's what I feel with these kids these days. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to talk. And when they're stressed out, we don't know what kids are really thinking. To me, I if you guys have kids, they shouldn't be on social media.
Mm.
Everything needs to be taught as home. As you, Brian, as a father, and I'm a father, we have to take care with our priorities inside our house, because if not, you don't know what kids are dealing, when they're out there at school or in social media and all that stuff. So to me, it's a 24/7 around the clock that I have to really focus on my son to see how he is every second, every minute, every hour, and every day. And, sometimes I get worried, Brown, like, is he going to have is he going to go through a relapse this again where all his motor skills just shut down?
Uh, and you know what? Uh, this may be, or may not be, but a lot of conditions that our children get, bro, like it's all a lot of it is due to what we eat también. Like a lot of it is due to what we eat. Like it's a lot of like processed foods and artificial stuff that they put into it, right? So it's like
Yeah,
all that stuff is chemicals,
it's all
bro.
chemical. All steroids and everything. Right now in our country, United States, we live in a corporation company, and a lot of people don't know. You got to really see what these corporations are putting inside the ingredients and foods of what we eat. Not knowing there could be poisonous, where it could be like, hey, pretty much in a way, some of the stuff that we eat, we can cause cancer or any situations. That's why when it comes to our people, a lot of us have diabetes.
It's crazy.
It,
The
it,
numbers are
it,
fucking like
it
it's just
it's crazy.
astounding, bro.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like it's scary. Like I'm 42, and I remember before I anyone wants to jump on, one of my good friends, he passed away. He was overweight. He died at the age of 42. So now I'm
Uh,
at the point thinking, man, I hope I don't die. I want to live more longer to play with my grandkids if my kids ever grow up and have kids. Like I want to live more longer. So knowing what I know now, and for you to have a platform and I'm me to have a platform, a lot of people watch what we do. So I really want to be more healthy and, and try to see what's the outcome. And that's why I've been doing a lot of reading of Dr. Sabi this is going to be really hard for me. I'm going to fast for 120 days.
uh, uh,
And that's the only thing, because they said Dr. Sabi, uh, you have to fast for 120 days to take everything out of your system, everything. And when you do, you're gonna feel much like energy, more not down, not depressed, and all that stuff. I mean, it's what you put. Eat a lot of fruits, drink a lot of water, not with water in plastic, water in glass. You got to be careful because those things have chemicals as well.
what's that called? BPA or something like that, BPN, BPA.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why a lot of the men should be drinking plastic bottles because there's been a lot of research of the stuff that they study with the chemicals inside those waters that are pretty much not good for men to drink.
Now the question is, bro. Okay, you're gonna go through the basically the cleansing,
Correct.
right, with fasting.
Yeah,
But now, if you don't change your diet, once you get back to eating right regularly, it's really going to be for nothing. If that, if not saying that you haven't, I mean, preconceived that, but I'm saying the person that wants to do a detox and then go back to eating shit, like, what's the point?
correctly. So you can't be a hypocrite if you really care about your body. You want to live more longer. You got to focus. Again, a lot of our people are just not really have that motivation or that focus to get your shit in order and okay, I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Is it sometimes like we're just lazy, like nah, it's okay, I want to drink a beer, nah, it's okay, I'll go to McDonald's and stuff. But something has to really hit you, Brown, or me, to be like, okay, that's it. It's a wake up call now. Let's get our bodies back. But yeah, but how long can we keep it up? Because you're going to have a struggle with your mental thoughts and your inner self to see like, come on, let's do it. And your mental is like, I don't want to do it no more. You got to keep on motivating to keep on working out, eating right and all that. But at the same time, a lot of the food that we do buy it's really healthy. It's really expensive, and times are really hard right now. And it's just you got to figure out what to eat, what not to eat. When I go to a lot of Mexican stores in the city of Long Beach, for grocery shopping, I'm gonna be honest, about 60, maybe 75% is not even healthy for us.
They say that go to the edges of the like by the walls. That's where the healthier stuff is at.
And that
The middle part is like nothing but sugar processed shit.
what's funny when you go to these Mexican stores and they're promoting healthy stuff. You know what I noticed? Like, man, there's a lot of dust in here because no one buys it. But
Mm,
when you go to the areas where a lot of the white people are at, like Whole Foods, Sprouts, or certain like rich markets, it's flying off the shelf. You're doing this, doing that, and but you have to be on it. But it's really expensive. How you're gonna prep your meals, what you're gonna eat, the soda substitute, less sugar, gluten free. I mean, you really have to find how you want your diet to be and stuff like that, because what's really hard is trying to really kill the gut. That's
mm,
the thing, how you have to clean everything all out, do a detox, drink a lot of water, like sleep 8 hours, eat right, prep, eat something where someone was saying that, yeah, I just have a big meal in the morning and that's it. You got to kind of pace yourself of how many calories you have. Like if it's a morning, you have something for lunch and for dinner and for dessert, maybe at 8 p.m. and that's it. But you have to know what your calories is going to be like for the day. And after that, that's it. No late night food and all that, because when we go to sleep, we need to have maybe about 8 to 9 hours of sleep, because when we're sleeping, a lot of people don't know this. Maybe Brown, maybe you know this, or anyone. When we're sleeping, we're losing weight as well, because when we're breathing in and out, we're flexing and we're working our gut.
mm.
If you think about it, if like how many sit-ups did I do last night from sleeping, so it's it's something. It's really cool, but again, like you just have to be on that zone to really try to lose weight. But it's gonna be hard. But if you can do it, you can overcome it. You got this.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get started with some questions though. So now, can you give us a little brief on like what kind of foods did your parents feed you? What were you eating while you were growing up? What kind of foods was available even around your area to like physically walk up to? You can go ahead. Was it Sophie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the youngest in age here, but when I tell you I know struggle, man, beans and rice, man, every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, beans and rice,
Yeah, man.
pasta, spaghetti, because hey, you can feed the army with pasta. My mom tried to be like, oh, you can get a can of green beans, pasta, queso,
Yeah.
same
A lot of stir fry. If you do like stir fry and have like brown rice instead of white rice, you just have to see certain things. You know, black beans instead of refried beans. But it's the tortillas. It's the the bread. You know, you get a lot of fat pizza crust. You know,
The difference
cheese.
was is that the food was free. People don't give out, like, I've worked food pantry. I've donated to food pantry. People who grow their own food literally give free buckets of fresh produce, carrots, lettuce, kale. I've seen massive ass turnips come in, fucking beautiful. People who live on the street don't even have the opportunity to eat fresh because it's given to them for free and they have no way to cook it. I'm sorry. Have you ever eaten a raw turnip? That's not that good. But it's more of a, being healthy is definitely a state of mind. If you can't be consistent with it, then you can't be consistent. I'm sorry, my child is in the background if you guys hear some noise.
That's all good. Now, how about your parents? Like, what kind of? Because I know traditionally, we're raised on like eating, even as for meats, just meats in general. Like that's a whole another story right there. Like there's people that cut off all meat because of the fact that it's just
Too expensive.
it causes so much like almost like it clogs up your arteries and all that. Like that's pretty much the only foods that clog up your arteries. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like people take that off their diet. So it's like traditionally where it's a sin even to get rid of like to throw away food, right? So even just that alone, instilling that into the kids like comete todo, you better eat
Nope.
everything, because if not, it's a sin. Like so it made you, and that mentality, I think that mentality carried over with me,
That's what
even
makes you
even
big.
like, yeah, even as a like as an adult almost, because I still carry that like oh shit, I better eat it, and then subconsciously even sometimes I eat all my shit on my plate, even though I know that I feel kind of already full, but I still eat that shit because I'm like subconsciously, I guess it's still fucking with me or something. But like traditionally, there's a lot of things that stick with us that it's not good, and thus still lets us not give up certain things that is bad for us, right? Like it makes us cling on to bad habits. Um, but I mean, how about you, Steven? I mean, how was your like? What was readily available in your community to like walk over and like go and purchase or
And I mean, my mom, my mom would be like, Steven, I'm sorry, man. I was just more like, we used to go to McDonald's. There was a time we went to Burger King for a month straight. I got tired of it. It's just a lot of things, but man, I don't know, man. It's for some kind of reason. It's like, man, just what were you guys giving me? Like eggs and weenies, or for breakfast, I used to have like pretty much like cornflakes and with bananas. But when I found out what was going on with the milk that you guys have for your cereals, to be honest, I would not. When I see people having cereal with milk, I look at people like I wouldn't have milk like that ever again, because what a lot of people don't know is that when a lot of the milk's expired, they recycle the milk and they fix it up, clean it up, and fill it back up again and sell it. That's why, in a way, we're supposed to be drinking like almond milk instead of regular milk, because it's like when you're drinking regular milk, it's almost like in a way you're eating your own boogers.
these things all loose. My bad, bro.
That's okay.
But yeah, you know what? Uh, Give me just 1 second.
Go for it, dude.
All right. So like, and what I was trying to get at with the whole thing was saying like, what was readily available was more like, you know, we talked about the whole, drugs in the barrio. We talked about, having liquor, in every corner almost. And then also we talk about like having fast food restaurants in every corner almost, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like they're really trying to make us like sick. They're really trying to kill us. It's not a if or maybe. It's an actual thing that's going on. Like they're really trying to give us high cholesterol. They're really trying to give us like, heart attacks and shit.
Yeah,
Like are they, I mean, in your eyes, bro, what do you think? Are they really targeting black and brown communities,
they're
man?
yeah they're focusing on the inner city, with Asians, blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, Latinas. Like that's why when you go to liquor stores, like if that's the only convenience in your place, what are you gonna get? Energy drinks, sodas, beers, chips, anything it's high cholesterol, it's gonna give you diabetes. You're gonna have maybe a mild heart attack and all that stuff. I mean, look at the calories. Like some of these chips, wow, 800, 900 calories. I mean, and also the energy drinks, a lot of our people drink energy drinks, just to wake up and all. Like, you got to have a substitute. That's what I was trying to substitute. I always been a Monsters, but going to Celsius, you got to watch the calories. A lot of this is like, oh man, I don't like it because it's not sweet enough. It's not this, it's not that. But that's what's all around us, is what's convenient in our neighborhood. But yeah, I feel like it's a decrease of a population, so they're really going after our people.
And a lot of the times I kind of think about it like this, like, okay, in certain parts of the world, they stone women for, showing a little skin, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and and then, but I think about it like this, like, okay, is it really the women's fault or the lack of control on the man's part that they can't control themselves enough to, like, not be sexual towards them because they're showing a little skin. So it's kind of the same type of mentality, right?
Hmm.
Is it our fault that we can't control ourselves with our urges to overeat, or is it really the fault of, marketing and advertisement and every corner having a fast food restaurant? Like, whose fault is it
it, it
at the end of the day?
well, it's our fault because we're taking the bait. When let's say, for example, there's a commercial with McDonald's, and a lot of us, we go, oh shit, guess what's back at McDonald's? The McRib sandwiches. Boom. That's our fault. Oh man, 2 for $5, fuck it. You know what? Let me get add of fries and a soda. Better yet?
Mhm.
Let me get an apple pie. You're hungry and all that. You eat out, you're full. But sometimes, in a way, our body knows we're full, but in our mind, we're still hungry. So yes, it's our fault because of what we see on social media. Or it's like, hey, I'll be a hypocrite on this. If a lot of people are healthy and I'm promoting here, like, yo, this is some good barbecue, mega man approval. A lot of anyone who has social media, they're gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna check this out, and they're gonna be like, kind of like, oh, this is good barbecue. This is good. Is this? You gotta know your limit. Is this something where if you're just eating every day junk food, junk food, junk food, it's just a matter of time before you have a heart attack. Like that movie, Super Size Me.
Oh shit, that documentary was crazy.
What did you think about that?
It just, well, I mean, most of the things I already experienced, I already, like, emotionally, cause see, cause that's the thing, like, uh, these people that make certain foods, like especially fast foods, right, and chips and things like that,
Yeah.
right? It's almost to a point of a scientific form of making these things for you to fall victim of it. And I say victim like as a habit, as a being addicted to these things. And our children are very much addicted to chips, like Takis, Cheetos, bro. If you, man, I'm sure everyone has seen it. You take a bag away from it, and it's like taking a fucking bone away from a dog.
Oh
Fucking they
my
growl at you and shit.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, like flaming hot Cheetos down the road. I'm in talks of having Rich. I'll say it right now. Richard, he's gonna have a flaming hot Cheetos movie. I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast. But I'm telling you, there's some rumors going out like, oh man, we should make a flaming spice to put in our shaving corn. What you see a lot of it's like it's Takis, flaming hot Cheetos, this. Oh, I need my flaming hot Cheetos. I need this. Yeah, that's the number one right now when it comes to our people. That right there it's not healthy for us. There's even been studies. If you get a flaming hot Cheeto and you put a match in a fire, ooh, it's creepy.
Wow, that is
It
nuts.
doesn't
And
dissolve. It doesn't. It just so you got to know what's the ingredients of what they put. That's where it's like it's good. It's good to eat brown, but it's gonna you'll like it now, but down the road it's probably gonna fuck you over when you get older.
yeah, man. But you know what though? It it's just hard to for them. I mean, come on. If adults can't fucking kick habits with food, if adults are overeating, like like children, I mean, they're so impressionable. Like they're gonna fucking do it because and it's crazy. Like for them to already be experiencing some type of addiction and
Mm-hmm.
to chips, like that's crazy.
Oh,
Like people, like kids have actually gone to the hospital because of the powder, that the chips have. They
mm-hmm.
get stuck to the like stomach lining and all that, and then like I mean, come on, like certain foods they don't rot. Like okay, like they make studies with McDonald's
Yes.
food.
Oof.
Years go by and the fucking burger is still intact. Not one crack in the fucking bun. Fries having fucking like there's no mold in it, nothing. Like how the fuck how is that edible?
I'm telling you, it's like crack. It's crack. A lot of these corporations, like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, and all, it's all corporation. It's like we gotta we gotta do whatever we can to figure out how we're gonna make this type of food where we're gonna get them to come back. There's been a lot of studies. I can't say it on here, but I'll tell you off air. They've been putting certain things, been finding out it's a little conspiracy where some of the stuff is poisonous. Where they've been finding what was it, the corporation Kellogg cereals? They've been finding Roundup.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
You're in the
Yeah,
right.
man.
Good, 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 good.
So we're over here talking about obesity and a healthy lifestyle. Uh, what are your thoughts, bro?
You know what, bro? It's kind of a funny subject. I just
Yeah.
barely woke up. I work graveyard y todo, so um, it's true, man. The obesity and everything. It's kind of crazy that I'm right here. Real talk. My suegra, shout out to her. She's making you know tacos, pero the spinach and everything. Healthy food. Hopefully she don't mind, but she's a diabetic and she has to eat healthy. And actually, I mean, it's been every time she comes,
Mm.
we've been eating good. It's just awful. Uh, and I think that's yeah. The hot Cheetos, whatever you can get on the I on the side. I don't know if you guys know. I'm a trucker, so truck stops. I think you were just mentioning, like, dude, there's no warm food. There's nothing. There's just some smash ingredients that are. It's. I feel horrible when I eat from the truck stop. So yeah, definitely. I think it's something easy. I know we live in a world that we're just like see, you know what I mean? But it really is just giving yourself that time to make your own food. You know what I mean? Como
Yeah.
dicen, hay frijoles en la casa. You know, and taking your own food and
It's
having
And
just
your own
so
snack.
easier said than
Uh,
done, though, bro. Like it's
and
just it takes so much. It takes so much to like actually, because first of all, a person needs to know what exactly they're gonna cook. Like a guy doesn't. I mean, there's guys that know how to cook. But I'm saying like for the most part, like guys are like un pinche sándwich, ahí vámonos. You know what I mean? And that gets old to believe. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like in general, raza,
yeah,
like we make a lot of pretextos, right? We make a lot of excuses. We make a lot of just reasons for not to do what's right.
yeah, and that's kind of the thing, man. It's like we
Too
procrastinate
late.
until until we have to, like, well, what we have to, because it's almost like we only act up when we're feeling the effects of it. That's so with my job and everything, I gotta eat healthy. There's and it's a wave, man. There's times that I'm cool, sometimes I'm not. But it's always that try and try everything out, man. I mean, I know sometimes we on Sundays we make a meal, cut it up, have everything ready for the weekend. We try that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it fails, but it's just always that constant battle of one hand, like gotta get healthy. There's meal prep
Mm.
that oh I they had
Mhm.
food already ready. So,
A ver,
um,
carnal, real quick,
but
your line
yeah,
keeps cutting off a bit, bro. I don't know if it's my end or.
Yeah, I hear like a little
yeah,
static noise.
yeah,
There it goes. It's off. Yeah.
yeah. There we go.
But
Yeah, man, pero real quick, man, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you need a rest and stuff. Now,
Yeah, I gotta go
in Dallas,
work
bro, in
too, man.
Dallas, and I'm sure there's more than one. There's a restaurant that they're serving like traditional dishes, like the Mexican traditional foods, and it's with no meat products at all. And people, they have a high rating, you know what I mean? So they figured out a way to make things like tamales, like tacos, burritos, enchiladas, todo eso, like everything, but with no meats. Like,
Funny part, I had a conversation with her, and she back, meat was kind of like a luxury. You know what I mean? So if you really start thinking about it, if you really start making Mexican food, the it's meat's kind of there, but I mean, you got tortillas, you got you got all these things, you got limones, you got all these other stuff. That the thing is that we just have to start getting used to that palate. You know what I mean? We're used to, like they say, Doritos. I mean, I used to hate Doritos, and they tell you, Doritos has so many different flavors and so many things. So of course, it's exciting. It's exciting now, like all these things, but you get down to the raw formation, like a abacate, really trying to get used to eating that again. You start realizing like the other stuff, your palate almost rejects it. So that's all it is, man. It's just really uh, 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 training
yeah,
the palate.
and also with night crew, because I used to work graveyard for almost like 21 years. It's hard because if
Uh,
I'm going to work at 10 p.m., 11 or 12, and you have Jack in the Box, you have McDonald's open and stuff like that. That's where if you're really on, like, I'm working out, like, man, I want that McDonald's, man. I want that McRib, man. But it's hard. So what I've been trying to do, and it's hard. I bring my gallon of Crystal Geyser water, and I bring my little sandwiches. Hey, this is how much I'm gonna eat, and that's it.
so I don't know.
I think the audio.
Start off small. Start off drinking. If you're gonna eat the hamburger, don't get the fries. Don't get the that, and start little by little on that stuff, and you realize, man, back.
Oh,
So
my,
it's
yeah.
drinking my water. Definitely like that's all. You still eat, but
Hmm.
back, don't get too mellow.
Yeah, yeah, man. Hell
I
yeah.
don't know. Hey, it's not drinking. Uh,
I know some of it cut off, bro.
Yeah, something
Some of
cut
it's
off.
cutting up.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the audio's cutting.
Let him out.
Hey,
okay.
man.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining in,
Hey,
carnal. Appreciate it.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? He made a lot of good points, though. I caught some of it. Like he was saying, like if you're gonna eat like fast food, drink water. Get instead of getting a side of something, get like get yourself on the side somewhere else. Like get an apple or something as a side. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah. Size.
You
Instead
don't
of
have to.
yeah, get some apples, slices of apples, get a bottle of water. I mean, you got to see, but again, it's like, man, I wanted that quarter pounder, and it's hard. And also, it's like when you have a regimen, it's Man, it's like it's tempted. It's almost like when you see like fast foods, they're like to me, they're like prostitutes, man. Like, what's up?
And you
It
see
is.
the little like the water dripping off of the bun and shit. You're all like, you're all like,
I'm telling I'm telling you, bro. When you come to Long Beach, I'm
oh
gonna. When you
shit.
come to Long Beach, bro, there's like so many restaurants, so many street vendors, places to eat. It's like to the point, man. I'm never gonna fucking lose weight. It's hard. It's temp. I mean,
It's hard, dude.
it's
You know why it's
hard.
hard, dude? It's hard because it's everywhere. Just like sex is everywhere, fucking eating heavy is everywhere, bro. Because they put it around your face and it's everywhere. Especially someone that's on social media, someone that's watches TV, and of course there's ads. It's everywhere, bro. They put it everywhere, and it's for a reason. That's why they pour in millions of dollars in commercials, man. It's not for you know what I mean. It's not for
I
nothing.
mean, I'm just telling you because I'm like to me, I'm just talking about. I'm getting hungry. I want Burger King. It's hard.
Now, how about this one, bro? The fact that just like someone mentioned here in the comments, like you can wrap a burger with lettuce and things like that, but like that's me, my macho side, you know what I mean, my fucking conservatively fucking macho side and shit. It yells out like that's fucking punk shit. That's some
No,
weak shit.
no. If I saw someone eating that, like, oh shit, a fucking woke person. Oh, oh
See,
shit.
but
Who heard you
that's what
do?
I'm talking about though.
Yeah, it is.
It's better for us, but then our traditional mindset is like, nah, fuck that. That's some lame shit wrapping it around with fucking some lettuce and shit. That ain't so fucking like manly stuff. Oh, but diabetes is manly, ain't it?
Okay, Brown, listen, if you saw me eating a hamburger with lettuce, I'll be like, if you saw that, I bet you would say, Mega Man, you fucking changed, dog. What's up, dude? You gone hipster?
Shit. No, but it's true though. I mean, because like I remember, like like even to this day, a lot of like homies like they go to the taco truck and they get some greasy ass shit and they're eating it with the fucking grease just fucking dripping off of it and they're all like, yeah, wait, this is what's up. This is what me Mexicanos all about. That type of fucking mentality. And it's like, really,
Oh,
like getting fucking fat and obese and shit. That's real. That's a real Mexicano. Like that's a real dude. Like,
I'm
Yeah,
telling
nah, I
you.
don't think so.
I'm
yeah.
telling you, there's a place right now
What's
where
up,
I'm
King?
at. I feel
What's
like,
up?
man,
What's
I'm
up?
tempted right now. I'm tempted, but there's a street vendor taco place where I'm at. They make the best tacos. They make the best burritos. They made this humongous big ass like torta. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yo,
The bigger the better, right? That's what they say. The bigger the better.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
yo.
What's up, King Mexico?
What's up? What's up, man?
What's
So
up? Talk to me.
the whole the whole lettuce and burger thing, I've done it. It's keto, man.
Yeah.
So when you
Of course. I mean, it's healthy for us, bro. We should be promoting it more, right? But we don't.
Hey,
You
he
know,
lost weight. King Mexico lost a lot of weight.
that's
yo,
that's dope, bro. I
yo,
congratulate you, man.
if I show you the definition, the biceps and the triceps, bro, you'll be like, what the hell?
I don't know about those bicycle shorts and shit. She a fucking moose uncle.
Well, that's what that that that's why I took off the image right now because I am wearing shorts.
See? He
Who
has the
got
act.
short
It's almost like
shorts?
because when I see
King
him, I see
Mexico
King
got
Mexico.
short
Like
shorts.
I was like, where'd you come from? Like, are you like a bike messenger or something? Like he's. Oh, I'm telling you, it was like I told him on the episode, like, bro, I think you lost a lot of weight, man.
Yeah, man,
That's
but
what's up, man.
I've been on my shit lately. That's what it is. I went back on it. So I was on my fat boy. I go through stages. I always get big, lose weight, get big, lose weight.
Hey,
But I mean, that seems to be like, cause I've done diets and shit like where I eat nothing but like like seafood, like more seafoods and shit like that, right? Less breads, but it just so happens that I guess I'm not strong enough to consistently stick with it. I mean, a lot of us are. It's hard to stick with it, bro. It's one thing to be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Uh, but actually doing it, like a day passes by, 2 days pass by, and you're like, yeah, I'm keeping with it. A week passed by, and you're like, fuck, how long am I gonna be able to keep with this shit? So you know what I mean? You're already fucking doubting
All
yourself.
right.
A month goes by, and That's good if you stick with a month. I mean, a month is a long time to change the diet, bro. A month is a very long time.
Big
But
time.
here's the thing. My personal advice, right? As a fat, fit guy, same way that they make fun of Nate Diaz for being a fat, skinny guy. The whole thing is, right? I stay in my constant weight, right? So I don't leave between 210. Once I reach over to like 230, I start losing weight again. But I always stay around 210. But my thing is, I stay active. So I have always have kettlebells
Mm,
around. I'm always doing push-ups. I'm always doing sit-ups. I'm always doing my runs.
that's
So
good.
just to keep active, even though you're not eating healthy, as long as you're active, you
Hmm.
should be fine
Oh, oh
because it'll
man,
keep the.
when this lockdown happened like years ago, when people were
Mm,
locked down, people were going to fast foods and stuff. People are drinking, and you're just seeing in if certain situations where we talked about with King Mexico about the jab, and you have obesity, oh, you're gonna die early, straight up.
So yeah, and then another one is supplements. Always make sure that you're taking the right supplement
mm,
that,
That's yeah, good, yes.
so your vitamins, make sure you're taking those things. That's another thing. Even though you could be big, but you could be healthy as hell, bro.
Yeah,
mm.
vitamin B, vitamin C's, and all that. You always got to go to the vitamin store and see because, like, we're Brown, me, or King Mexico, our bodies are different. So we need to take certain pills that it's going to make us better, Like, maybe if I see Brown working out and he's taking this supplements or working out, maybe that's not going to fit with my body because maybe those pills or how it's going to be different. Or if I'm working out, there's supplements and see you guys look at it, it's not going to work for you. Everyone on here right now, our bodies are all different, and we're just all different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we eat differently, probably. Like, you may not be into the same foods that I'm into. Like, if I'm eating seafood and you don't like seafood, for example, like I'm getting certain nutrients that you're not. So whatever you're lacking, you need to get some drink some vitamins that helps with that.
I'm a little careful when it comes to seafood because a lot of people don't know. You got to really do some study.
Mercury.
There's a lot of mercury.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And here's another one if you want something good for your brain. So you got like
Oh
lion's mane,
shit!
the lion's mane. So lion's mane that's good for your brain. It's like brain food and stuff. And what else is
On it.
oyster mushrooms are also good for your
Oh, okay.
immune system. I go through a
Avocados are
whole
good.
rundown. Like I can't remember everything I take. And the other day, how I opened the episode with Mega Man, I put every supplement that I take currently. So
Mm.
people want to get an idea of what I'm on and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's also other like natural supplements I'm on too. But
Yeah,
this is from years
yeah,
of me being on this crap, bro. And you learn what works and what doesn't work for you.
yeah.
Yo, let's talk about detoxing, bro. Because
Ooh,
there's a lot of ways to detox, man. Like I've tried detoxing with like certain powders and there's drinks you can make and things
uh,
like that. And it's like okay, you get let's be straight up. You get the runs and all that, right? Like all that shit happens. Okay, so that's basically what I heard that is the stuff that's accumulated plus a little bit of your vitamins coming out too.
mhm.
So it's like they say to be careful with detoxing, but then again, you don't do it long term. It's like only like a week long thing. So it's like, but then again, we go back to what I mentioned to you, Stephen. Like, okay, you detox, which is you got rid of all the toxins in your body, but then what is your plan afterwards?
Hey,
Like, what is your
that's a
plan?
good question because when you detox, man, dude, like, okay, I'm gonna get my body back in order. I remember one time I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my body back in order, and I did a detox. What did I do the next day? I cleaned my body, crap, piss, whatever. 2 days later, I went to Burger King. Yeah, I'm telling you, a lot of
It's
people.
hard, bro. I
It's
mean, I get
hard.
you. It's hard, bro, because that whole week that you've been doing that, you probably okay. First of all, your mentality is this: when you're big, and this is like the biggest I've ever been myself. You know what I mean? At 215 right now, and I'm 5'6", so it's like I'm my BMI it's not at where it should be anyway. But like you go through the stage where you do the detox, so you feel better. After you do a detox, you feel lighter. You feel lighter. So you're feeling lighter. You're like, oh shit, I'm back. I'm back to my normal way of feeling. Shit, that burger's looking mighty nice right now. So it's like you're tricking yourself. You're making yourself like, yo, I'm back. I'm not gonna feel that way no more. But yo, then you fall back into that same routine, and
Yeah,
there you go. It's like you gain back the pounds and then some.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. It's hard because a lot of the men and Team Mexico, we can fact check. I mean, a lot of people, women, were really like, yeah, that's true. If you're gonna keep on eating, for us men, if you're gonna keep on eating a lot of food, you're gonna get more bigger. The bigger you get, the more your dick is gonna fucking shrink because it's gonna get pushed back in.
You see, that's what I was about to bring up. Motivation. Every time you lose pounds, bro, the shit get bigger. So
Yeah.
motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And the
That's
sugar
crazy.
detox, right? So sugar detox, the best thing to do sugar detox is to go into ketosis. So you have no sugar, no carbs, so your body can't produce sugar without carbs. So then your body ends up going on ketosis, and what ketosis is, your body is eating all the fat.
Yeah. Oh
Mm.
yeah. Because that's
But
when you get cold turkey. Like if I was gonna be like telling Team Mexico now, like Dr. Sabi, and doing a fasting for 120 days, you have to really hit the gut hard and clean all that process out and everything, to see a difference. And when you do, you feel so energetic. Oh, you're not lazy. I don't want to do, like, you're just, hey, let's go out and about. That's
Mm.
where I want to be at. And a lot of the foods and a lot of people, I'm telling you, Dr. Sabi, it has breaks everything down. These are the fruits that you should be eating, or this. And also, this is not a conspiracy. This is really facts. Turmeric, apricot seeds are the cure for cancer.
well,
Mm.
turmeric is good for inflation in your body, but not too much because too much will end up messing you up.
Correct.
I forgot what's the side effect, but I ended up getting a side effect from too much turmeric, so I was heavy on it, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
then I slowed down my
Turmeric
intake.
causes a lot of acidic buildup, doesn't it? Turmeric.
I'm not a,
I've
Doesn't that
never,
I
cause
don't,
like
I don't.
heartburn?
Nah, it didn't cause heartburn. I mean, some
Uh,
shit happened to me, but I laid low on that.
yeah, you have to mix it up and stuff. You're making smoothies, or you got to be careful with those, but with fruits and all that, it's all there. A lot of the process. A lot of people don't know this. If you have process and you have a disease and all that stuff, once you clean all that stuff out, where Dr. Sebi talks about, there are signs that he cured diabetes, he cured cancer, he cured HIV and AIDS, he cured autism and all that. It's all goes straight to where what we're eating from those corporations. For us, they put all that poisonous for us to live less, to live less, with ourselves, because think about it, it's like it's hard, it's just, but a lot of people, when they want to eat fruits or this, whatever, like, people don't want it. If you tell your kids, hey, I want you to eat a salad, I want you to eat fruits, and they're not going to do it. But if you give them hot Cheetos, oh, I'll take that instead.
All right, so here's another thing on being able to change the way you eat, right? Instead of eating fast food. So you want to eat a burger, right? Buy a ground beef, right? Buy the ground beef. Buy the start 80 to the 20% fat is not bad. You know what I mean? That's pretty good stuff. But then you got 90-10 and eat that, right? Don't eat fast food and make your own french fries. And
Yeah.
eventually your taste buds would change. And then the day you try to have a burger, like my personal stuff, right? From experience. I haven't ate fast food since high school. And the reason I don't eat
oh shit.
McDonald's is because when I worked at McDonald's, I saw how the patties look, bro.
Yes. Me
Mm.
too. Hmm.
Yo, the patties are disgusting, bro.
Don't even tell me about the nuggets.
Mm.
Yo, yeah, and in general, bro, when you see a patty when it's frozen from Mickey D's, it has like little pores, right? That look like pus when you burst a pus and it like and yo, when I say that was the most disgusting thing ever, it creeped the hell out of me and it made my stomach turn. And I always tell people, why is it McDonald's smells the same way you shit it and the same way the garbage smells?
Oh, that's true. That when that shit comes out your pores, well, you smell funky.
So you see it,
Mm.
if you think about it like that, it's like, damn, am I intaking this shit? How is I'm eating the same thing that's coming out, smells the same way all around.
And don't
And then
forget, we're not even
Dang.
talking about beers either. We haven't got to craft beers.
whoa, 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 watch your mouth. Let's not talk about that. But
But
we're not gonna go
What? Oh, what?
there.
Modelo type? What?
No, no, not that stuff. But and then with Burger King, I probably had Burger King about 15 years ago, right? And when I bit into that burger, I had to spit it out because it tastes like rubber.
Really?
Yeah, man, I can't eat that. Like I can't eat fast food no more, bro. Like my
Ah,
taste buds have changed. People think I'm bougie, but it's not about being bougie. I just, my taste buds have changed. So I could taste certain things. And also another thing I could tell you that advice, try to be a vegan for like a month or two, right? I did it for a year, but try to, if you can, do it for a month or two. And that first piece of meat you have, right? Make sure it's like a grade A type meat, right? Like some good shit, right? And when you have
I see where you're heading.
that first piece of meat, bro, you would taste the meat, bro. Like you could
mhm.
taste what the hell that cow ate.
Yeah.
I'm no
Bison
bullshit,
meat,
bro.
yeah, bison meat, elk meat. One of my friends, he's coming from Vermont. He used to live in Canada, and he told me, Megan, man, I got the best meat for you. You're gonna fucking love it. It's like, you ever had like a black grizzly from over in Canada that eats only nothing but fruits and blueberries? I posted it. It's like, no, I haven't, but bro, when you taste it, you can tell like, wow, this tastes like a blueberry steak. It, it's good.
Also, also enhance your taste buds with like eating like exotic meats. You know what I mean? Like I've had armadillo, bomb, bro. Like
Oh
that's
Yeah,
shit.
mad good, bro.
I had horse.
Damn, I haven't had horse, but I've
Pretty good.
also had well, shark. Everybody eats shark.
That's pretty good.
What else is the other one I had? Oh, a lizard. Everybody's had lizard.
Uh,
Damn, I'm trying to remember the other one.
never had.
You guys tried duck?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good. That's a
I
lot. That's
cooked
too
duck
great.
last
That's
week.
greasy. That's good, but it's
Yeah,
greasy.
and then if you save the fat, bro, and you fucking make
What
fried
about
egg with
bison?
that,
You guys tried
That's
yeah,
bison?
good. Elk
bison's
meat,
good.
bison, elk meat. I mean, it's really, really good. If you put some jalapenos or garlic mashed potatoes, or maybe some asparagus with maybe some kind of certain light butter.
Yeah, damn, I said damn, I'm trying to remember what I had that was wild good, bro.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
good stuff. It's
there's a lot.
healthy.
Oh, gator, bro, gator.
That's
Gator?
good.
Yo,
Oh
That's
shit.
good.
gator's mad. Like ooh, like
Oh,
gator, bro. That's official. It don't taste like chicken. I don't care what no. It has a different texture. It's more of a grassy, like earthy. It has an
Huh.
earthy taste to it.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good, and I also like their beef turkeys too.
Yo. So yeah, man.
Oh shit. That's
I
crazy.
know.
See all these things like, but you know what though? But like at the end of the day though, is meat good for us
Yes.
or just in moderation?
Mm, I personally from going vegan and knowing people who were vegan and then came back to eating meat, they feel much better in their life eating meat. But it's all like not to knock anybody that's a vegan, but it's all about because there's two type of vegans, right? There's a diet vegan, and then there's the vegan who does it because they don't want to hurt animals. I was a vegan
Mm.
because I just wanted to be healthy at that point.
So fuck the animals, huh?
Yeah, I didn't care. I would wear snakeskin boots and freaking ostrich belt and be a vegan, eating vegan meals. And if
Okay.
they ask me, I'm like, nah, it's real shit. Like it is what it is. I'm like, I ain't trying to save the planet, but trying to save my body though.
Yeah, man. It's hard. You know, it's an everyday struggle for all of us to like what to eat. Well, I want to eat healthy, you know, and I want to. It's hard, man. It's a temptation. You know, if you really want to live more longer, then eat right. If you want to eat junk food, okay, then you're gonna die early, straight up.
Man, that's a hard pill to swallow, bro.
What?
Like if you're gonna eat what you're gonna eat, you're gonna die early in your life.
Yeah.
Nah,
But
yeah, you got to know your balance, man, and always be careful. Even though it says organic, and I'm pretty my
Mm.
man Mega Man could
oh,
preach
yeah.
on that because he worked in the industry.
Hmm.
Those stickers, bro. Sometimes people be switching that sticker depending where you go, bro. They'll put that organic sticker.
Yeah, just to be like, oh, it's organic, and you know, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna, you know, but it's that is, I don't go by say, oh, it's organic. I want to look in the back where the nutrition facts tells you, okay, this has sodium, this has this, look at the calories, what's in it to make it. I just
No,
want to,
I'm
hey,
talking about like fruits and vegetables.
oh yeah, oh
When they change
yeah,
the sticker.
Oh yeah.
Like you go to the supermarket, they'll say organic, right? They'll charge you for organic, but it's technically just regular shit.
Oh yeah.
Yo, real quick, I got 7 seconds before this shit takes me off. I'm gonna. Yo, what up, people? So this is the second hour of Shed So Many Tears with the topic obesity versus fit, or an unhealthy lifestyle versus a healthy lifestyle. So let's get back in it. Thank you all for joining back in. We're getting in stuff like we talked about, like eating in moderation, detoxing, which is a great thing to do, but like we were talking about, like what is your next step after detoxing? Like you have to have steps. You have to know what you're gonna do with. You have to have a plan. And I've seen some people in the comments. Like the homie Flo, he was mentioning have a diet journal, which is a great way to keep track of your what you've accomplished, what you've tried out, what hasn't worked, what has worked. So all those things are really good, a good way to see your progress. You know what I mean? But let's get to this part real quick before we change to other people that want to join in
Let's
the
go.
live. Um, schools, public schools, in the fact that they serve nothing but crap. Like they serve shit food. Um, and it's like they preach, oh, eat your fruits and vegetables, but then they give you a fucking nasty ass pizza, all fucking greased up, and then in the mornings for breakfast they give you fucking conchas, like sweet bread. You really
Hold on,
want
they
to?
give conchas?
Yeah,
Oh
it's like
yeah.
okay, you want to give
Yeah.
sugary shit. You want to give them cereal, fucking, toast crunch and all that shit to the children. And mind you, a lot of these kids in the school, at least where I work at, they're really hyperactive.
Hold on.
They're very, very hyperactive. So it's like you want to feed them all this sugar, and then you wonder why they can't sit still. It's like it don't. You can't have either. You can't have both. You can't feed them what you want and then expect them to just their bodies to to feel that to be able to control themselves. They really can't.
You know what? I don't know what school was it, but I remember back in the day, but they don't do it no more. But where when I used to live in Modesto, and Brian, you should know because I in the Central Valley, a lot of these corporates are hitting these high schools and stuff like McDonald's or Pizza Hut or certain things like corporates, corporations, foods like to for the kids to eat and all that. And yeah, I remember back in the day it used to be healthy, but if you look at it now, like a lot of these high school, junior highs are like prisons. They're gonna serve you what they want to serve you and stuff, and it's not good for you. It's not healthy and stuff like that, and it's really sucks. And I think in a way, when it comes to a lot of these school systems and stuff, they need to re-educate the teachers and the PE and the nutritionists of what to eat and stuff to stay healthy and all. It's just something where it's like, man, dude, it's like you're right. You see a lot of hyperactive kids, and you see a lot of kids are all like getting into fights or they're just dealing with mental illness and stuff like that. It's because of the processed foods or what's in their system. It's like you shouldn't be eating that if you're like 11 or 12 or 13 years old.
A lot of
Damn.
sugar in it. A lot of sugar in it.
I
And
just
then they tell you, oh, you can't bring candies in here. Oh, but you're bringing these fucking sweet ass bread in here.
hold
What
on,
the
hold on.
fuck?
I just want to rewind to conchas being served for breakfast in schools, bro.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not even gonna front. I'm not even gonna hate. I would have loved in the East Coast if we were to get conchas with chocolate, bro. I would have
Oh
been
yeah, man.
there,
What do you guys
bro.
get out there like for breakfast? Like, because I know California is like it's a different structure when it comes to like public schools. Like over there, give me a little rundown of how like schools are,
So we would
as
have got like
for
scrambled.
food.
So in the East Coast, right, growing up, we would have got like scrambled eggs and
Yo, that's a
bacon or sausage
what
and like
bacon?
toast.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's a badass meal. Like over here, there ain't no. It's not even breakfast, bro. Like first of all, they serve you milk, which is cow's milk. Like why the fuck do every other species drink their own fucking species milk, but us humans have to drink fucking a cow's
Hold
milk?
on, hold on.
We're not
So
fucking
you
cows, bro.
so you're trying to say we should be drinking human milk?
I mean, it makes sense,
Yum yum.
right? and make it make sense, bro. Like every other fucking animal drinks fucking milk all the way till till their death, bro. Drinks their own milk like naturally. Now I'm not talking about pets, right? Pets, I mean we serve on fucking tortillas and shit, right?
Hey,
I'm saying like naturally in the wild, right?
hey, King Mexico, remember that show Dave Chappelle said, "Where do you get your breast milk at?" From a Cambodian woman.
uh,
Yo,
It's like the
yo,
best
because
breast
look,
milk in Cambodia.
I'm sorry,
like
bro. I
like
couldn't help it.
like fucking okay, look, trip out. Like with all my kids, I noticed that they lack a certain things. Like they're able to like my kids, the ones that were fed breast milk the longest,
Yeah,
were able to do certain things uh earlier in their lives compared to the other ones. So that just gives you a little insight as for how important breast milk is, bro.
Mm-hmm.
yo,
Oh yeah, and this is the thing. A lot of the women who are breastfeeding, they can't smoke out, they can't drink liquor and this whatever, because if they do, you're when the baby's drinking that breast, that baby could get fucking drunk. So
Oh
the
well,
women
yeah.
have to be very careful of what they're eating. It has to be all healthy food and stuff like that. So when the baby does, uh, have breast milk and stuff, it has to be just healthy.
Make sure
I
you
still can't get over
don't
that.
get with no pirujas and shit when you're trying to make a baby. Like get with the right female and shit.
Hey,
I'm
hey,
just
hey, have you ever, no, not to be a little perverted, but have you ever like accidentally like sucked on your ladies and milk came out like, ooh, this is pretty good?
Bro, it's not even a bad taste, bro. Like I'll tell you straight up, bro. Like it's not even a bad. I prefer, you know what? Like I don't even drink regular milk anymore, bro. I actually drink almond milk now.
Hey,
I don't drink cow's milk, bro, at all, at all.
it's
mm,
not
mm,
almond milk, bro. It's almond juice.
Almond juice. Well,
Almond
pretty
juice.
much is the extract of an
Exactly.
almond, But so
So
I
that
mean, but
that's
still, like
it's a
it's
juice.
supposed to give you some. I know it doesn't give you everything that you need as a human, right? Almonds. I mean, what the fuck? Like, I mean, it does give you vitamins, some kind of
But
vitamin, right? But like, we still need the calcium. And
did
where
you
do we
know
get the
that
calcium from?
almond milk is worse for the environment than cow's milk? Because it drains the nutrients from the soil.
Probably is. I mean, pretty much everything is
So
the way they're
I'm just
extracting everything, and pretty much, you know what I mean? Like the gas we fucking use in cars and shit,
whoa,
all
whoa,
that stuff
whoa.
is like.
So, damn, man, I don't want to leave out the subject. I'm gonna leave that for something else. But going back to your original question about public school and what they feed our kids, I still can't get over you guys give conchas for breakfast, bro. I'm kind of jealous. I'm not even gonna front. Like, I still stuck. I'm done with that, bro. Like, that is amazing. Like me, my chubby my chubby fat boy inner child would have loved that shit, bro. I would have got a Dunkin' Donuts hot chocolate and would have came to school and back. I
oh,
would have probably been Debo and Kiss for the
you
conchas, bro.
you know what? We're living in a time where a lot of these Gen Zs and all that stuff. You know what their breakfast is
What?
here? Like where I'm at, is like Starbucks, McDonald's.
Mm.
All right. So when it comes down to public schools and feeding our kids, I think is the parents have a big play to say what and not to feed the kids, right? And that's the part where us as parents have to play a bigger part and not depend on the school system to be like, oh, we're gonna send our kids to school, oh, whatever they want to teach our kids. No, we have to be in those board meetings, in the community meetings to we want our children to learn
Ooh,
and what
that
they want to
yeah,
intake, you know what I mean, and
that
eat
yeah.
wise. Because if we're active parents in our child's life in school, we can move them to the way we want. Because at the end of the day, it's our tax dollars that pay for these teachers. Because it's public, it's not private. This is public school, so our tax dollars and the people that live in the community pay for these schools.
Hmm.
So we have all rights to tell them what to feed our kids, and it starts with us. But a lot of us are negligent. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We would just send our kids to school, and hey, the school knows best.
Yeah, and you pick up your kid and he's wearing a dress already.
So, but you know what I mean? So that's my thing. As parents, we need to start playing a bigger role in our kids' lives in school and
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure they have educational board meetings or board of ed meetings for
Mhm.
the school and stuff. And most parents don't go. It's like when you have a meeting for the community, right? Or for the district on who to vote and who you want to go. Nobody goes, right? And
Mhm.
those that small percentage that do vote for the people that they want, and then you wonder why these people who they hold the chair for so long. So yeah, that's my thing. Is we have to have a bigger play into the community, which is wild. You know what I mean?
And also you have
Yeah.
to be careful because we're having a fentanyl problem over here in Long Beach, and you don't know some of these schools who are people are making it, these foods. They can mix some fentanyls in there, mixing in with the food, and people are just kids are just dying left and right.
Damn, that's some
Mm.
And
wild shit,
it is
fentanyl.
wild shit because I mean it's a lot of you see elementary, junior high, and high school kids in Long Beach. People are overdosing, and it's like to the point no one's not really talking about it. I'm gonna do an episode about that.
Really?
Oh yeah, this is not a conspiracy. It's real shit. I thought in a way when last year I thought when the situation happened with my son, I thought in a way I thought someone gave my son a fentanyl.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's it's a serious matter and stuff. And I went hard on the schools, and they were like, "Oh shit!" Even the police department, some of the police did an investigation because at my son's junior high, they were having a fentanyl problem.
So you see,
Man, that's
by
crazy.
so by Mega Man acting out, you know what I mean, and being active, you see, he was able to see some type of result.
Mhm. Yeah,
So that's a perfect example right there. Even, not just put that towards food.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean that's a good way to look at it, man. A good step up for parents to link up. But I mean, the reality is, bro, everyone is fucking busy. They're more busy on surviving than actually making a difference for something that they see like, uh, what's the use? We're not our voice is not going to count anyway.
that's
And
a
But
that's
that's
I mean that's sadly the reality, the mentality in you know communities like of color. I mean it really is a reality. I mean there is parents that are like they do believe that their voice matters and stuff like that, but for the most part, I mean come on, we got undocumented people that first of all are not going to speak up on shit because they're
you're
scared
scared.
to be they're scared. I mean it's the reality, and it's fucked up because most of these kids are going to grow up with a lot of issues because of what they eat, because of the fact that they're not educated enough, and it's not their fault. What I mean? It's not their fault that they're not educated. That's the tradition. That's what they came with. They're doing the best they can. You know what I mean? And it's fucked up that the school preaches all these rainbows and fucking flowers and shit, but then do the opposite and feed our kids bullshit. Like it's hypocritical to the max. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
man, yeah, you hit it right there, Brown. Like there is a lot of in Long Beach where some people reach out and say, "Hey, Steven, is there a way possible you can speak for us?" It's like, why? Because I'm kind of scared because we don't have papers. I don't get deported. But since you're a citizen, is there a way you can vouch for us and stuff because you have a bigger platform and all, and you know how you are. You're gonna say it how it is, and I'm gonna post it. Like, and that's where a lot of people are like, "Yo, Mega Man, you gotta be careful what you post." Like, no, man, I'm gonna post whatever I can. I mean, and saying, what's your purpose in? To really I really want to post and really want to know what's really out there, the truth and stuff, because I'm here not I don't I'm here to save lives. I'm here to push out facts. Yo, this is what's going on. You better go check your fucking community.
Dang. That's
Oh, you want to get
and,
Flo?
and
What? Oh, Flo's ready, dude. He's like, I want to
you
come
ready?
on.
All right.
I'm ready. I'll
All
take
right, guys. Hey, well, thank you guys for your input, man. I appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure having you guys on here.
all right,
So,
man.
and one last thing, Flo. I know Flo's gonna come on, but I already talked to my homie Brown. I want to invite you on the Long Beach Social Experiment. Uh, Having this relationship with you and also with King Mexico, but with you, Brown, like getting to know you, who you are as a person, and how you conduct yourself, and your platform, and who you are. I just want to say I like these platforms that you do every Thursday to bring our people together to see what we can do to resolve our differences and see what we can do to help our communities after we're done doing these lives. And I just want to be like, man, that was a really good episode. And these are the type of episodes that I like that you do. And that's one of the reasons why I want to invite you on my podcast, because you have a good story. You care about your people. You're just over there trying to not entertain, but your platform is to be very informative, but also I like how you like to really push out the message.
I appreciate that, man. You know I'm down, bro. Like I said, you know what I mean. Just let me know when, man. April, man. I'll be out there in LA in April.
Let me
So
let me know what day, how
yeah.
long, because I have a studio. So when I do, it's like if Flo wants to come on, or I'm trying to get Kim Mexico to come on from Brooklyn to New York, so maybe we can do a roundtable.
Word.
Hey, I'll be dope. That'll be fucking dope, for real.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep on. Hey, get
All
more
right,
people on. Hey, good conversation, Brown and Kim Mexico.
All right.
appreciate it.
Later.
Take it easy, yeah.
Hey, man.
All right.
Thanks, bro. All right. All right, I'm gonna send a invite. So what you guys think so far? I mean, we're having a really feedback conversation about this. And it's really informative. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that still hasn't been spoken about in here. Just a lot of stuff. Like, for example, like the fact that traditionally, being repuestito, being like thick, and it's is looked at by Latino, by Latin America as a good thing, as a healthy thing, right? But Yvette, I don't know if I know you said buenas noches, so I don't know if you were saying buenas noches to us that you were leaving, or is it buenas noches to someone else? But I send your request, But and Flo, I'm gonna send your request. But yeah, like that belief of like being thick, being kind of like chubby, is a healthy sign that we're healthy, supposedly, right? And that's traditionally what I remember as a kid. I remember my folks telling me like, "Oh, gordito, te ves más bonito." That type of shit, which is like, to them it's cute, right? To them it's cute, like a chubby kid, right? But it's not healthy, and like they see it as that's I don't know if it's a traditional thing from like only Mexico, or like is it like just Latin America altogether? Like I don't know, but for sure it's a thing where my parents came from Jalisco, so that's for sure. Like it's a belief that when you're chubby is a healthy sign. But um and while we wait for Yvette and Flo to jump in, let me go over another thing with I had mentioned before about the Dallas restaurant, the Mexican restaurant that they had, that they took out all meat products, all animal products from their menu. And I was thinking like, yo, that would be a very good thing for the barrios, like for that to be in every corner. I prefer that in every corner than a liquor store or a fucking fast food restaurant. Which in turn it is like a fast food restaurant, but a healthy fast food restaurant. If you think about it, I mean that trumps over everything. ¿Cómo estás, hermano? How you doing?
I,
Buenas
Buenas
noches.
noches. Oh my God, hermano. Let me the last few times that I joined, you get me like in the most compromising situations, but I get caught up with the chismes, so I can't say no.
Hey, thank you for joining in.
Now
Yeah,
it's a really good
yeah.
conversation. And you're the like you this podcast that you have going on is like the best distraction that I could ever
I mean,
have.
it's things that affect us in the barrios.
Awesome.
Like that's really what, like me, I have so much will to want to like hacer y deshacer las cosas que están already made. Like, things that are already made and structured, I want to just break it apart and
Mhm.
remake it, right? But how can we do that together? Like, that's my question all the time. Porque a person, of course, a person can do a lot of damage, but a community, a whole group of people, they can do a lot of change. Pero it's like,
Mhm.
how do we come up with those ideas, and how do we implement them? How do we implement those ideas into our communities, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard. And I think it's so hard because we have become so used to this type of structure and way of life that it's hard to imagine anything outside of
Mm,
the scope. It's like we have tunnel
mhm,
vision collectively. Because like you said, like there might be like a few crazy ones like me that we believe in abolition and like fucking burn it down. But like we can't really get there if as collective, as community, we don't come to a
mm. Yeah.
consensus. And that's really what
And
it
it's sad
is.
and hard at the same
Um,
time to even conceive that thought that a lot of people are not willing to step up and do that. And because I've been to certain ¿cómo se llama? Like town meetings, and like school district meetings and stuff like that in order to like change the menu or in simple things, which is not really simple. When it comes
mhm,
to like our children changing the menu on their lunch and breakfast. Pero the thing is that not a lot of people attend, and you, you start feeling like, pues yo
mhm.
qué voy a hacer, like yo qué voy a hacer nomás una persona, like just one person, you know, saying these things, pero it's like for what? Like what's gonna happen with one person trying to do something when the whole community is not saying nothing? They're not gonna take me serious.
Yeah, it's true, and sometimes it feels like we have been defeated, and kind of makes you feel like why even bother? It's draining. Um, and I think it's again like it's not necessarily on our people, on our community. It's a
Mm,
structure. It's systematic. It's by design. The language, the way that it's phrased, like we have words that we use every single day. But if you look up the legal definition, it's a whole different thing. So it's learning how to. It's really about learning how to speak their language, and I don't mean just like English or Spanish, but truly how to use their system, their structure, their language to make
mm,
it work for us. And I freaking hate that. But um, the other thing is that I still hold on to hope and become optimistic when I see our communities in Mexico, the caracoles, the autonomous communities, when they say that we can build a
mm,
world where many worlds live. And I believe that, I've seen it. They make it work. It's beautiful. Everyone helps. The cooperativas, like it's families that they grow the food, they manage their business, they work for themselves, they support one another, and it's sustainable. So we can get there, It's just a lot of organizing.
Now, buenas noches, Flo. How you doing, man? I wanted to get to these.
I'm
Yeah,
doing well,
man.
man. Thank you. How
Este,
you?
is it raining out there, bro?
Nah, it's just a little cold, but it's been raining,
Right.
this week.
So, so
That's
the
just not
people
too
that's
bad.
joining in right now in the conversation, we're talking about obesity versus healthy
Lifestyle.
lifestyle. Este, the questions that I
Hello.
wanted to go. Hey, how's it going?
Hi. Hello. My name is Katie, or you can call me Yuzi. I'm from San Diego, and I just was just chiming in on your live, and it just sounded very interesting. And you guys can continue on. I will definitely jump in once I, get the marinade on with the little cheese mix and all.
Yeah, I mean, hey, welcome. That's what I try to open this platform for anyone that wants to jump in, and because it affects all of us. You know what I mean, in the communities. This is the question that I wanted to ask. So basically, is it our fault for not being able to control our urges when it comes to overeating or eating the wrong things, or is it a combination of our fault and that there's nothing healthy around us, for the most part, with where people live, in the barrios, and um, anyone
Is that
can
a
take
question?
that question.
My answer to that question is when you're young, you eat whatever you're given, right? Whatever your parents give you, and so you don't have too much control over that. But once you start living on your own and you start cooking your own meals and you start paying for your own food, then it is ultimately up to you to decide what to eat. obviously it's a lot harder to break those habits, especially when you grow up with bad habits. I mean, with any habit, it's hard to break. But as somebody who has an autoimmune disease, I mean, for me, I had to definitely get that checked real quick, right? I've had it for 10 years already, so I got it in my 20s when I had it, and I was fairly young. I mean, to have an autoimmune disease that's chronic is as Yvette would probably tell you. I mean, it's very crippling many times, and it's also like a reality check for you because when you're 20, you're not thinking about things like that. You're thinking about having fun and enjoying life or whatever. But for me, that's when it started, that journey of trying to educate myself on what to eat, right, and what's good for me, what's not good for me. And so I would say that for sure, for me, speaking for myself, it's definitely up to me to decide what I should be putting in my body. It sucks that it took a disease to realize that, right? But luckily, I'm young enough where I can still kind of manage it, as opposed to, when you're 50, 60 years old and you get diabetes or cancer or something else. And it's a lot harder to break those habits, So my answer to that question is it's a combination of both. And if you live in the barrio, obviously you have limitations. You have a lot of food deserts, what they call food deserts, where you don't have too many options, yet you have a ton of options that are not good for you, like I said earlier in the comment section. But it's a lot of research. And what I would recommend is, if you feel like you don't know where to go, take a nutrition class. Go to a community college, take a basics 101 nutrition class, and basically just learn the basics. That's what I did when a couple of years ago, as I was trying to learn more about my condition. And even with that class alone, right, I learned a lot about what to eat, what not to eat. Because there's so many people on the internet, or just people tell you, hey, this is good for you, this is not good for you, right? But to hear from a professional and somebody who's credentialed in those kind of things, a nutritionist, it's a lot different, because they have the knowledge and the credibility, as opposed to, hey, try my diet, or try this method, it's only $59.99 a month, all these different things that people try to sell us, right? I would say do that. Obviously, get some books, but ultimately, as an adult, it is up to you to decide what you put in your body, like anything else, right? Drugs, whatever it is. So when you do get sick, you got nobody to blame but yourself, and that includes me. I'm in that conversation because I am a person with a chronic disease, So every time I relapse, I'm like, man, what the hell did I do? What do I need to do to
Let
ensure
me
that I'm not there
ask
anymore?
you this real quick. How did you get that condition?
By
Like,
eating terribly, right? And also for me, it was also a combination of
mm,
having body insecurity, right? I know that a lot of raza tends to be on the heavier side. I'm on the opposite side. I'm on the thin side, and I've been thin my entire life. So when I was younger, in my 20s, I was trying to bulk up, eating really, really bad, because again, you get a lot of misinformation, right? I picked up weight, in that process, but it wasn't good weight. It was a lot of bad weight. But my body type is not designed to be eating a ton of food, right? And this is what I talked about earlier in the comment section too. Everybody has a different body type, so you have to be able to eat within your body type. So for some people, if you eat a cookie, that's gonna go straight to your stomach or to your gut, right? For me, it's different. I don't store fat the way other people store fat, you know. But at the end of the day, I end up messing up my gut, my GI tract, right? So yeah, I just didn't eat well. I mean, I was eating literally McDonald's every day, and that's literally what caused me to go to the hospital for 11 days and get diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, right? So literally, my gut is
Um,
what gets affected by my bad eating habits. So whenever I do have a relapse, that
okay.
ends up
Could
happening.
yeah, go ahead.
I just read a comment that one of our fellow relatives is wrote down here? The username is Chief Louis, and they said
Uh-huh.
that how does classism, medical apart held about
High tide.
fatphobia and disableism play a role into this topic, or a role? Because it's not just us to blame when there's all these systems that play against you. Which, you know what? I will be honest. Like, I can testify my own story as well. Because growing up, I've always been a big girl, even though like I ate more than than other kids did, but I know for a fact it wasn't like crappy food. I just ate more beans and frijoles than the next kid sitting on the table, but I know it wasn't shitty food. And then also, like, throughout my life, I've been told I was morbidly obese by the medical system all the time. You're morbidly obese, and when I think of those things, like I was even having body dysmorphia myself, and then I started to have like, like for those that are very sensitive to this topic, like I had an eating disorder for quite some time, and that really
Yeah.
fucked me up, and especially in our raza, we're told that we're supposed to look a certain way, especially for women, and I know on my end, like even on the decolonizing part of the community, they're saying like, oh well, women look like this, women look like that, and everybody was plant-based, and that also got me into like thinking, oh well, if that's the case, then I'll go cold turkey on being vegan. And I did for a bit, but after I once started like gaining back the trust of myself, and with the food I was eating, I just started doing more research about ancestral foods. Not every indigenous community were vegan, and even no. And I think
No,
we
they
need
were
to
not.
stop like putting that type of rhetoric that like our ancestors were all plant based, which that was not true. We restricted all parts of life. We know when to harvest. We know when to hunt. We know the seasons. We know where and when to go and start planting and creating life. I think because of the misinformation, that does also play a role with a lot of us with our eating habits, and and even different body types. I know one of the brothers were talking about, some of our raza are a bit on the heavier side. Some of them are on the skinnier side too. Like I think we just need to really understand that every body type is different, and embrace those things. But of course, like, be mindful of it's really hard. This topic is pretty sensitive because there's so many factors onto why we are the way that we are, and why we look the way we look. Some can say like, oh yeah, like me, I created this. I made my body look the way that it looks. Yeah, that's true, but also remember, like we all were talking about, the system does play a role in how we also navigate through how we put things in our mouth and what not to, and especially with like the diet culture. It's very it's hard out here. It really is. And I think the relative Cheese Louise really made a point, because we can do so much. We really can. We can really try so hard to be better and eat better, but to navigate in this fucking colonizer world, it's tough. And I think what we can do, I'm not saying like, I know a solution, but I really feel like us as like the community, we should really be compassionate and be patient, and understand how other people cannot do other things that we can be responsible for. We have to be compassionate about that, and being inclusive. And also, especially when we talk about obesity, some of us, some of us did get to where we are, but at the same time, like, we also have to love ourselves in the process. It's a part of like healing, and it's really tough. Like I'm here trying to like say what I need to say as well, but it's really tough. Like, as much as like we could all be like, okay, well, let's do this, let's do that, but it's easier said than done. I know for a fact that, when some of us wanted to do better, there are setbacks or there are relapses, and we mess up and we start beating ourselves up, and then we are like, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore, or like we go in the downward spiral. So I guess my question too is just how do we, how do we really solve this? As much as like we try, but there are setbacks, and how can we get back from not going back to those setbacks?
I think a lot of that is like, okay, how does a person that's terminally ill, and it's, for example, you're facing, you're right in front of a doctor and tells you, if you don't change your ways right now, you're gonna die by next week. If you
Okay.
go in with that mentality of thinking, shit, I'm gonna die next week if I don't change my stuff, like, I think we kind of have to scare ourselves sometimes in order to, like, really, for our body to really, adapt to this new life. It's really a new life that you're gonna have to, lead, because it's a new lifestyle. Like, it's so easy to go around the corner and just, get some fast food. It's so easy. So, like, just like they say, nothing good comes easy. It's really true. And the faster you adapt to that, the faster you'll be at your healthiest. But it's like, once again, it's easier said than done. Now,
Right.
when you mix in emotion,
What
yeah,
I
go
would
ahead, bro.
say, sorry to cut you off. What I would say, just to answer that question, right, regarding classism and all the other things he put on there, it plays a factor
Hmm.
if you're not aware, right? Once you become aware of these things, then it is your responsibility, because you know that these are things that are out there that are in one way or another, contributing to the problem, right? So it's like anything else. If you become aware of something, right, and if you play a role in
Hmm.
it, then it is your responsibility. Now, if you have no control over it, then that's a different conversation, right? A lot of the things in here talking about, right? And I also want to add on to what the hermana is talking about regarding her, body dysmorphia and body insecurity issues, right? Once again, I think the I know the question is obesity and fitness, right? I'm glad that made the attempts, right, to different methods, right? Um, but it's not even about reaching a specific uh, weight, because again, we all have different body types. Like, I'm never gonna be 200 pounds. Doesn't matter how much I eat, right? My body frame is a small body frame, so whatever I eat, right, is not gonna get stored the way somebody else's body type. They eat something, gets stored as fat, whatever, right? Glucose. So that's the first thing you got to recognize is your body type, right? And also, like I talked about in the comment section, develop a fitness plan for yourself that's realistic for you, right? Not something that your friend does when they go to the gym, because that's not going to work for you. That's why a lot of people, when they go to the gym, they give up easily, because they're like, oh, I can't do that, right? You have to be able to do things that are work within yourself, and you can apply in life, right? Like, I'm not gonna go to the gym and again lift like all these deadlifts that I see people at the gym, right? I'm not gonna do that, and I'm in a place now where I feel comfortable saying that, because when I was in my 20s, I was trying to live like all the heavier dudes, and I couldn't do it, obviously. So that's the first thing you got to recognize, that and be aware of that, and be okay with it. Because if you're not, then all of these other things that we're expected to do, or what they tell us to do, also affects our decision making as well.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
want to hear more from
Yvette, go
Yvette.
ahead. I don't know if you remember the original question. Que era, like, basically, how do we, like, go from, making the right choices? Is it our fault, or is it marketing of bad foods around us? Like, or is it a combination?
Well, first of all, let me say hi to my sister. Finally, I get here with a comadre. Thank you, sister, for joining. Hello, good to be here with you again. I think everything plays a role. We cannot dismiss that there's many factors and so many faces, you know, there's so many layers to this. Um, and many things are not our fault. But like Chloe mentioned, once you realize there's an issue, it is your responsibility to do something about it. And the other thing that I want to kind of put out there, when we talk about being healthy, like what do you picture? Whose standards of being healthy are you
Hmm.
following? Because if you think that being healthy means being muscular and, you know, with a fucking six pack and eating like lettuce all the time and bland chicken with only salt or maybe no salt, like wasicho food, like come on, bro, like no, that's that might be the definition of healthy for someone. That's not my definition of healthy because I shared the same issue with Flo. Like I have autoimmune disease. I was born with it. Um, my my nervous system does not communicate with my brain, so my stomach is paralyzed, and I have epilepsy. And I did have that situation where the doctors told me, "We don't know what to do for you. Go home, be comfortable, because we don't know how much time you have." But they didn't even say like this is the approach that you need, go to therapy, do this like they didn't even suggest anything other than for me to come home to die.
It's the American way.
And I really exactly so that's when again, like when we try to define what's healthy, what is it, whose definition of healthy are we trying to fit in? Because I can tell you that in the work that I've done, um, I find eugenics everywhere. This whole entire system is founded on this theory that there's a master race, the supreme race, the elite. And even by those standards, right, I will be considered feeble-minded and either killed at one point or forcefully sterilized. So if this, remember that these are the people that constructed the system, that they built the system. This is the principle behind everything that we do, including health. And I mean, like I said, at one point you do have to recognize like there's power within your actions and there's something that you can do for yourself. And that your needs, they're not going to be like someone else's. Funny fact, because my stomach is paralyzed, I struggle with absorption. So I can eat supplements, take every vitamin, you know, I can take all the natural supplements. I can eat like super clean, you know, like no fat, no sugars, no nothing. But it doesn't really help because my stomach doesn't break down the food, so it doesn't send it to the small intestine and it doesn't get absorbed. So for me, what helps me, believe it or not, it's the carbs. When I'm having a flare up, like my body is desperate for carbs, so I need to go to the white rice. I need to go to the carne. I need to go for the protein. I need to go to the things that are going to give me an emergency supply because my body is shutting down. And again, like by the definitions of health today and diet with this culture that we have, that would be so unhealthy. You know, everyone tells you to get rid of this type of food. And the truth is that for most of the people that might be the case, but in my case, like it helps me. So I again, understanding your body, your needs, and I think someone mentioned in the comments that emotions, mental health is such a big part of it.
Yep.
100% agreed. But I will throw spirituality there too. I will definitely throw there your spirituality. If you are not balancing your mind, your heart, your spirit, and your body, then we're gonna continue to struggle. And I can tell you that it works. It's worked for me. It might not work exactly the same for you, but if this woman that has gone through 33 surgeries, has been close to dying 6 times, was able to bring her life around and become a danzante
Wow.
and keep up with this,
That-
I believe that everybody has the
Yep.
power to
The
do
way
I
you
that.
put
agree.
it, that's amazing. The way you put it right now, that's I love that. Now, when you when you mix in emotions and eating for like as an because of an emotion you're feeling sadness, loneliness, and when we link that up with eating, and we make that a habit. Now that's another addition to the bad dieting. That's another thing that you're gonna have to get away from eventually if you really want to make a change in your body. Because I know for myself, when I'm feeling like, I mean, like stressed out or whatever, I find myself eating and just eating whatever's in the kitchen. It's like, that's the worst time. And they also say don't go to the store when you're hungry because you're gonna pick up kinds of crap. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to detach our emotion from eating, you know, and also eating for entertainment. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people do that, eating for entertainment. Like they can't be eating unless they turn on the TV first. It's like, what I mean? So that's terrible. And that's our people though. Like you gotta admit it. That's our people, and we're not alone. Like if you think that you're alone by doing some things like that, like you're not alone. People are like legit struggling with these things, and some of us are dying because we're not able to, well, get a hold of ourselves. And that's the thing that I'm trying to avoid. And I would like to have more of these talks about, health, and even bring in a nutritionist to discuss certain things, because I know, people like we're busy, like it's a busy lifestyle, and that's just to survive. That's not including doing extra stuff to correct the issues in the body. Like that's just doing the bare minimum. Gets us tired at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So like that's the main issue why people make excuses, because we're fucking tired. No joke. No, even people that are solteros, like, single people are tired already. Throw in children, like that is exhausting. At the end of the day, exhausting. And it's not to make excuses, but it's just that we need to somehow, you know, trick our minds to believe that we're not tired in order to really make something happen. I think that's at the end of the day, it depends on the individual. It really does depend on the individual and how hard they really want to make a change in their lives. But as for this, for like schools, let's jump into that topic real quick within this topic. For schools, like, do we need to change in public schools as for the way they, how they feed our children, what they be feeding our children? Anyone can go ahead and answer that.
I can start. I mean, I don't work at a public school anymore, so I don't know what they're feeding them now. But I remember when I did, or even when I was at school, irony of like, oh, we need to get more greens in or whatever, a healthier diet. But then you would still have the Takis, you would still have the hot Cheetos at the student store, you would still have your cookies, right? So if they're gonna go all in, if they're gonna be pushing that agenda, they gotta go all in. They gotta cut their losses and say, you know what, we're not gonna sell these things anymore, right? Hold on, yeah. But obviously they're not gonna do that, because if they do, then that means that they're gonna lose their business, or whatever money they make on the side there. So that's my approach to that. If you're gonna push an agenda, you gotta go all in. Otherwise, just don't even talk about it. Also, one thing that I also want to bring up is that as an educator, right, if you're part of that agenda as well, then you should also be modeling good eating, right? I see a lot of people who talk about, hey, don't be eating that, don't be eating this, and they come back with a McDonald's bag. Like you have to model what you're talking about. And kids, they don't learn through words, they learn through behavior. Whatever you're doing, that's what they're gonna pick up. So if they see you say, hey, don't eat that, or whatever, and then you come back with the hot Cheetos, they listen to you. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely don't. I don't think, and I don't agree that it should be the school feeding our kids. But we also have to be realistic and understand that not everyone has the luxury to pack a
Yeah.
healthy lunch for their kids, right? There's parents that have 2 to 3 jobs, and I mean they can hardly even get some sleep at home. So imagine like some of us had to raise ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had to take care of ourselves. And I'm lucky that I grew up with my abuelitas and I learned how to cook, and, I got the recipes, but that's not the lifestyle that I see in this country. I have that because I grew up in the rancho, but um, I do believe that if we're gonna go to war, you better bring your weapon. And by that I mean that if you're gonna address the problem, you better be ready to get your hands dirty and be part of the solution. Um, we have to contribute to the solution more than we contribute to the problem. And if we're not questioning what are we doing and where do those actions go to, where are we placing the anger, the trauma, the pain, your power, if you're putting that on the small picture, then it's not going to be very effective. You might see a little change, and that's great, but it's like very slow, so if we really want to see change, we have to get in there and get it done ourselves. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not expecting this government, I'm not expecting the education system, I'm not expecting the doctors, I'm not expecting any of them to get this done for us. It's time that we sit down as community, we figure our shit out, and
Right.
we get
And
it
then I
done for
think too,
ourselves.
like, when I mention compassion, I really do emphasize that because, as much as like, and I understand that a lot of us, we give out health advices to the people that we love because we care about them. We want them to live with us. We want them to, thrive and all that. But if we're just going to be there sitting and telling them that they're stupid and that they're fat or that you look at you look
Mm-hmm.
like you look like a sheep, like that's gonna literally drive them to not even want to even listen to the words that we say. Even though at the end of the day, yes, we love them and what we're doing is out of love, but also just you know figuring it out. Like maybe some people don't like to be told like directly. You can show them by like, oh hey, you know what? I made this today. You want to try some? And if they say no, okay, cool. Like we don't need to be like fucking rude and be like, well then fuck you, then you can go and die, or like, oh like I've seen it. I've seen it all on both opposite ends of the spectrum of people who are vegan and then people who are like meat eaters. Like it's a big war. It's a big war that people are going like what's healthy, what's not, and people insulting and talking down on each other.
Yeah.
That is literally not fucking it. And I don't give a fuck if you're vegan or not, but if you're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
talking shit, I don't want to hear it. I don't give a fuck. Like you can go that way.
Yeah. Tell them,
So,
sis. Tell
I
um,
them.
get you, because I mean, how are you gonna be like, nasty with the words, but like encouraging supposedly a healthy lifestyle with
exactly,
eating? Like it can't go both. You can't have it both ways. Be nasty
exactly.
about it, and then supposedly be eating better and shit. Like if you're gonna living a better lifestyle, it includes your, the way you communicate as well. It
Right.
should at least, Uh, now this
And,
traditional way of
you know, you, the,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just want to add real quick that I think one crucial point about what the sisters shared, like how we look at each other, how do we talk to each other, are we really empowering one another? It's so crucial to do this with
Mhm.
our kids, and especially when they're teenagers, because the changes that they're going through in their brain, like their hormones, their way of thinking, rewiring of the entire brain, like this is the inner voice that is going to speak to them when they're alone, when they find themselves, feeling down and they don't know what to do anymore. That little voice, like you're putting that in their head. So how do you, if you were you and you were that little voice, what would you tell them? If you knew they were down and they were like done with this life and they just wanted to disappear, what would you want them to hear? And that's the approach that we need to have with one another, because you might have this idea of tough love, but that's bullshit. Like, if it doesn't feel good, it's not
That's
good.
I
true.
agree.
Yeah, and then that goes to a whole another conversation too
Mm.
regarding parenting, just like relationships, what you communicate with people. I mean that other life you can do brown on that. It's the way we communicate those who we love, right? And even if you try to help them, the way we approach it, always best. I can't put myself in a conversation. It's not perfect. I'm sure I've done things good for a lot of people. Trying to change. I know, obviously, that you guys know me as well, but uh, I'm my boss. First to admit, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm perfect. I know all the answers and all the rules. And so that right there is another live you can do, Brown. Just talking about communication.
That would be a great episode. That would be just on communication. Yeah, that would be
I think a lot
amazing.
of these kids don't
So
have that communication skills or that
Right.
social skill to even communicate with adults because of the fact that they're always stuck to their phones. I think that's a big factor to it. I mean, they're able to like type all quick on their phones, but when it comes to reacting and responding in a real way to an adult or to someone else, is like they're lacking a lot.
Actually, I would like to add something about
Yes.
that, or, because I met actually a lot of teenagers, besides the whole phone thing, they really are very articulate. It's just the fact that, like, I feel like with adults, what we
Mhm.
do, we push them away. And we say, oh, no, no, you don't get it. You're not an adult yet. Sometimes they're just, I've gotten that too.
Mhm.
Growing up, not by my parents, thank goodness, but I've heard it from other adults, and even still to this day from other folks that are like over 30 years old, and they're telling me as a 25-year-old, no, you don't get it. You're not an adult. You're not a full adult. And it's like, whoa, what the hell? Like, last time I checked, I'm over the age of 18. Like, and I have a mind too, and I can express
Mhm.
whatever the fuck I want. Like, I have my own opinions. Let me express them, and I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong, and I'm also not saying I'm right or wrong, but let me just, clarify what I meant to say, and just please listen and just take enough consideration. I think for a lot of the adults, they tend to think like, oh well, kids they don't know anything, they don't know, but they do, they really
Yeah,
do. You'd be
they
really
do.
surprised. You'd be surprised. Like um I'm not a 100% educator, but I do go around San Diego County, teaching kids about the importance of culture, and especially coming the perspective of me being a Nawa woman, and learning how culture really enriches our self-esteem at a young age, and how deflecting that really takes a toll on us when we grow up. So, and having these kids, like, I'm asking them questions, and not to say like they're right or wrong. I just wanted to see where their mindsets are at. And boy, oh boy, there have been responses that I heard from like kids that are like 7 years old, very articulate, knowing what the heck that they're talking about. Because I'm like, well, shit. Because I remember when I was like that age, I kind of wish I should have, I could.
Did it cut out?
I
Okay.
mean, I really encourage adults to, if the kid does want to share something, include them in. Even if the topics are, to each their own, right? To each their own. But, if the child has something to say, let them express their opinions, and let them explain themselves why.
Yeah. So one last thing
But
before we switch it up.
uh,
Let's talk about tradition and traditional ways of how our folks kind of like showed us the way more than told us. So a lot of the times I remember as a kid, being a little shoved up, like overweight, and they used to say basically, repuestito te ves más bonito, like you're supposedly healthier when you're chubbier, right? That was like the kind of like what they believe, right? That I guess is from even before our folks. It's like this belief that if you're chubbier or if you're a little more overweight, that you're healthier than someone that's slim and they look more sickly, right? Supposedly, right? But that kind of belief kind of went along with me, and it made me think like, well, maybe I am healthy, so let me keep eating these Cheetos, or what I mean, let me keep eating these things that is not good for me. But like just that mentality of like, okay, well, if chubby is healthy in my parents' eyes, then and that's really all I respected, really, my folks while growing up, right? it's like, their word is the law, right? So it's like, so it kind of goes in with that, being uneducated. You know what I mean? So it's education has a lot to do with it. But here, I'm gonna come back. This thing's gonna kick me off. I'm gonna come back and to have you guys, kind of go over that what I just mentioned.
All right,
So
sounds good.
yeah, so make sure you guys tune back in. All right, my gente, what's up? So this is part 3 of today's topic: obesity versus fit. Part 3 on the Brown experience. We're gonna bring back the people that we were just talking to. So the last question was tradition, wherever, what I mean, we come from in Latin America, like tradition. How did that play part into you as an adult now? What's up? Thank you for joining back, bro.
No worries. I think to answer that question that you were talking about, and I was thinking about this as I was talking to other people. It's funny that they brought up this topic today because somebody had asked me for like advice on healthy choices, healthy food or whatever. And I told her that our grandparents, we don't have to even be that far removed. Our grandparents, they didn't have a lot of choices when it came to food. They didn't probably have the healthiest, not healthiest. They didn't have an abundance of things like we do here in the United States, right? So when you eat things that normally you wouldn't eat in Latin America, right? Your body stores, again, especially sugar. Sugar is one of the things people kind of underrate, and they focus more on fats and other stuff. But sugar is really the thing that's more deadly than any of these things that's overlooked, right? So the concept of está llenito, right? That means he's healthy. It's because there wasn't an abundance of food in Latin America like there is here in the States. So if you saw somebody that was on the heavier side, or just a little chunky or whatever, you're like, man, that guy's eating good. No, they must be healthy. They must be financially wealthy, right? Or financially well off. So that's where that concept comes, because a lot of us don't come from money. A lot of us don't come from having the situation. So if you saw that, you're like, oh, okay. So that's where it stems from, in my opinion. And unfortunately, here in the United States, you have a lot of people who, again, don't know, don't have the awareness, and your genes are not accustomed to eating that kind of food. We haven't even talked about that, right? I know you were mentioning milk. Lactose tolerance is a European trait, strictly European. Why I say that is because, Europeans, for the most part, and other cultures also domesticated cows, but even white skin, right, is a genetic mutation, because most people in the world are not white. Most people in the world are a shade of brown or a shade of, black or whatever. So that is also something that's connected to like drinking milk, right? And a lot of people in our community are lactose intolerant because we have obviously, we're not fully European. We have native and we have other cultures in us. And again, that plays a role again in diet and genes or whatever. So again, to answer the question, it's a what do you call it? Goes back to that, like not having enough, not having an abundance.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Wealth was seen as a form of, being fat was seen as a form of wealth. That makes sense. Yeah. Esther, what do you
But
think, hermana?
I think it's important to also kind of highlight that that was a product of colonization. And I'm not gonna say that the ancestors had it like all figured out, because no, like I'm I'm really like strong on stop romanticizing the past, because a lot of this shit, like, we can never prove, because we can't go back, like, we don't
Right.
know what it's like to live that way. But I will tell you this, this idea of scarcity and how we connect with the food, it responds to trauma and colonization. And I say that because the indigenous people of whatever land are part of it. So the foods that are going to be the healthiest for you are the ones that your DNA is compatible to. Ahí está el maíz. That's the sustenance of life throughout the entire continent. And that's because we're people of the maize. Like, we're literally compatible at the genetic level with our food, with our medicine, with the animals that are only native to that place. So our ancestors didn't measure wealth in the same terms that we think of today. But also the everything that we did was done with respect. So if you want to hunt, that was a ceremony in itself. Nothing went to waste. You didn't take more of the land than you needed. You take care of the land and you provide for the land, because it will provide for you. So anything that is affecting the land, el agua, los ríos, las montañas, the food, it's also genocide against ourselves. Just and I think it doesn't take to be a rocket scientist to really pay attention around you. Like, look at the water, look at the trees, look at the way the food's being grown today, and we're questioning where we are sick. Like, it's obvious. Whatever we are putting in our body comes from the land. So where are we feeding the land? What are we doing with it? What's our relationship with it? Because the genocide, it's not just against people. It's against the first collective mother, the earth itself. Um, and not just that, like, the connection with the food, when you appreciate it. I never understood why, like, religious people prayed over their food until I got sick and I started appreciating the love, the time, the energy that my mom, my husband, my kids will put into whatever they made for me. And being grateful before I ate it, to really be present with my food and expressing that gratitude, and taking it in with love. It hits you different, and there's a reason why we need to communicate with our food, and just really, really, like, build that relationship, because it is a relationship. So if we want to talk about ancestral ways, like, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's, again, it doesn't take science or there's, like, difficult formulas to understand that the way that we're going to treat the land is going to reflect on our body.
Um, that's a good way to put it. I like that. Now, hermana, um, I know you do. You eat a lot of, like, food from, like, that our ancestors used to eat. I know you try to eat a lot of that. Where would you recommend, if someone wanted to get on that diet? Where would you recommend for someone to start?
Which hermana?
Oh, yeah, Yvette.
um, Well, for one, you can look at the native foods of your land, what foods grow naturally there, what seasons, and those foods are meant to be consumed during that season, you know? And also, like, pay attention to your body, the way that you respond to those things. Because there are foods that might not be okay for you. And it's not because you're not compatible with the food, it's because you have issues with your system now, like your body, your brain. But definitely, I think the best way to go about this is to look at the seasonal foods and try to maintain it like that. Your body also goes through cycles. There's seasons that reflect body types. And so what foods do you grow in your homeland, right? Like, in tu tierra nativa, what foods grow during the spring? What foods grow during the summer, winter, etc. And I also want to say the fasting. Fasting is a great way to detox, not just in the physical sense, but the mind, the body, the spirit. You can get so many benefits out of fasting. But if you want to push it even further, go to the sweat lodge.
Mm.
You will learn a lot about yourself right there. That's yeah, that's what I can share for now. I can't think of anything else at the moment.
Appreciate it. Kyrie, are you still there?
Yes, yes, I am.
You want to go ahead and share some of what we were just talking about in regards to like traditional uh, upbringings and how our folks ate and how they regarded us as like being thicker, more seeming more healthier because we were thicker.
Okay. Well, for my family, we we're Nahua people, but we also trace back our roots all the way to the Olmecas. And for those that don't know, Olmecas are pretty heavy set because they're carpenters and they're, they have to be carrying around really heavy stuff. So of course, like people of today, they still have that built body like that. And I mean, I could say the same for myself. I'm on the like I'm chubby. I'm chubby too, but also I'm very strong. And what I before my journey, I used to eat really shitty food, and I was still I was like in college, like that was like the fast lane of like, oh well, gotta go get this, gotta go get that. But now, but then I don't know how it just like one day I'm just like, wait a fucking minute, why the fuck am I eating this if I could literally like just put some good things in my mouth, like maybe get a quick salad or maybe like a quick I don't know, I can make like a sandwich at home filled with like a bunch of like fish. For me, my family, we eat a lot of fish. That's just something that we grew up with doing. My family, on my dad's side, he's they're all in lakes, lakes, and then my dad on the mountainside of Guerrero, so streams and all that. That's what we grew up eating, and then over here, my parents also used to fish. My father mostly, and I I guess what I'm trying to go about this is that if if you really have the privilege and the access to do what you got to do, like if you want to go hunt and fish and forage, by all means go ahead and do it. And for those that don't have the access, it's okay. Like there's we can go to the 99-cent store and grab some fruit and like some beans and just try to do our best on that. I know like we all were trying to say it's easier said than done, but take at least take one like a day of like, oh, you know what, let me go buy something here that's maybe a salad. Let me go buy some fruit, or you know what, like let me not eat today. Let me fast today. And I think you know what, since there isn't a protest coming up tomorrow in LA, I've gotten people asking me like, well, Katie, like, what are you doing to bring solidarity? I'm fasting. I'm fasting, and
Eso.
tomorrow I'll be fasting as well. I mean, that's in a sense a very spiritual thing, and also for a purpose of what we're fighting for, because we have our relatives, on the fields, and they're not getting the money that is earned that they fucking deserve, and also they're not getting the food that they're eating, and they're like, sweating on their backs all day picking our fruits and vegetables. And I really do recommend, like if you really want to detox, like the sister said, do the fasting or go to a sweat lodge, go to a sauna, do whatever it is that you got to do to, be present within your mind, your spirit, and your soul. What's really going on with you, and just go with the flow on that, and try to also, follow the ancestral foods on your lands and or from your people. For me, like I just went along with what the Olmecas and the Nahua people from Guerrero and Morelos ate, and that is a lot of fish, a lot of just what else? Nopales. We also ate like a lot of tomatoes, chiles, just pretty much just what was near our land. And for those that I feel like too, if we have the privilege to grow these things, let's share it with the community. I really do advise and really emphasize sharing. Sharing is caring, y'all. Like if you have so many abundance of fruits and vegetables, or like good meats and fish, like share. Why gatekeep it when you can share the like just share it with the people? I think that's what we also really need to think of the bigger picture, because in this, especially here in the U.S., we're very individualistic. What happened to the collectivism? What happened to really thinking about one or the other? If we want to eat good, I want my people to be eating good too, and I'm not gonna sit here and eat all the fucking time if my people can't be eating all the fucking time, if you don't have the access to. I really think that's also like a food for thought for a lot of us. Like, if we want something good for us, why can't we spread that for the rest of the people? If we want to really emphasize health, let's share that with the people. Let's give them fruits and vegetables and or whatever that they're asking for. If they want garden, let's go and if people know how to fucking hunt, the deers and fish and all that good stuff. Hey, that's cool. If you have abundance of that, share. It's cool. I really do emphasize on the sharing, because I feel like, since people are really emphasizing the quote unquote apocalypse or whatever, people are kind of like, well, fuck you. It's all about me. I don't care. I don't care about you. And that's really defeating the purpose of, what a community is supposed to be about.
And you got a lot packed in that that
Yeah.
segment you just went. Yeah, you went on a lot of good points. And you know what? You made a lot of good points with the whole fact that we have to share. Like if one person has it's kind of like unlock that knowledge of knowing how to grow a certain, something, and another person is not able to, successfully do that. Right? Let's collaborate. Let's find out how to make that, how to make food together. You know, uh, it doesn't sound hard. I mean, it sounds pretty easy to do as a community, right? But once again, throw in the fact that we're always busy, that we're always, oh, me, mine, this is mine, and that's all the American form of living, right? That's the lifestyle that we're kind of like formed into. Um, this whole capitalistic way of living, I have more, I'm better than you, and then I don't know, it just, but yeah, you made a lot of good points. También Yvette, you made a good point saying that we need to start growing our own crops. You know what I mean? We need to
Yeah.
start growing having our own gardens, and or even community gardens. You know what I mean? That's a very good thing. That way it shows, how a community comes together and builds for us, right? Instead of depending on the grocery store, we have the community garden, right? I mean, that's the perfect way to look at it. Pero
Yeah, there's
you
when we
guys all
speak
made
about
made
liberation and sovereignty, that also comes with the food. We need to really
mm,
emphasize that there's no liberation just for the people. It has to be liberation for the land. Therefore, it's food sovereignty, food liberation. That's taking our power back.
mm, that's true. Taking their power back. That's a well said phrase right there. Because we lost the power. At this point, we lost the power to have any form. Or well, I mean, we do have as parents, we have the power to raise our children, right? But there's so much other than our voice and our guidance that is guiding them. Whether it be good or bad. I mean, there is our voice, but we're not with them all day long, right? We can tell them all the right things, but when they're out there, they're influenced by other things, by other people that have poor, eating habits, and which might, affect them. Friends that might have, what if your son, daughter is really eating better, there's that bad influence because not everyone's at the same level. Not everyone's eating healthy. So it's like it's hard. It's a real hard thing, and it's hard for an individual as an adult. Much more for a parent trying to teach the children how to go about and make good choices when it comes to eating healthy. And it's a day by day. Heron mentioned it in the comments. It's taking it one meal at a time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because if we start thinking like, tomorrow, what am I gonna eat tomorrow? And then tomorrow comes, and then you're not prepared, and you're running late, and you're hungry, and let me get some McDonald's real quick. It's so easy to go that route. It's so easy to go that route when you're unprepared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanna, if I can add something real quick, because you brought a really good point about, I mean, we can talk about these things all day and try to share with our kids and prepare them, but ultimately, I think this is where it's so important about when we say it, when we speak about health, that we address the not only the mental and emotional, the spiritual, but it's not only about like exercise or like making choices. Those things are shaped by your emotional intelligence.
Mm.
If you have a if you instill that in your child, they might be around like the worst environment, but at the end of the day, they're gonna be able to make their own choices because they're aware of who they are, of their needs. They're not gonna give in to peer pressure, and that's gonna allow them to navigate this world a lot better. It might come back with, it might have repercussions when you refuse to assimilate in a system that it's predominantly supremacist in racist, that it doesn't work for us. But at the end of the day, when it comes to our personal responsibility, your personal power, that's the best weapon that we can have, being emotionally intelligent, being emotionally aware.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Totally right. Este, But I'm going to bring in some other two people in here. Thank you guys. Like always, you guys always share the, really important stuff, hit on real good, facts and tell a lot of good things, to encourage our gente to change for the better, because that's really what it is, change.
For sure, for sure. I just want to share one thing before I get off, and I know you wanted me to talk about this. I know we've been talking about food and diet, the last hour or so. For those of you who do not follow my page or whatever, or don't follow my content, I am also big on fitness. I spend my weekends, I mean, really the entire week, but on weekends I do offer free lessons to anybody who is willing to drive out to Monterey Park and wants to do some drills. You don't have to be an expert in football. If you're open to just doing any drills, and it's a lot of footwork mainly, I don't charge anything. It's free. If you're serious about that, if you want to come out, I'm doing it for free. It's also another way to involve, like if you have kids, if you want to spend time with them, and I don't, it doesn't matter if you're a kid or if you're a woman, whatever, I don't care. If you want to come out here and do this, I'll help you out. For me, it's big because, like I said, I spend time with my daughter. I get to take her to the park. She loves running. She loves being active, and it makes me still connect with the stuff that I love to do. And at the end of the day, I'm helping out people who want to do it. I've already had a few content creators come on and just get out there, and it's fun. I mean, hopefully, if anybody is listening and lives in the LA area, and again, if you are interested, send me a DM and I'll let you know where I'm at, and you can join me.
What's up, man? Yeah.
That's it.
And you know what? I'm gonna have to go and join you this next month that I go out there, man. Cause yeah, man,
Let's go.
some drills out there.
All right,
All right,
thanks a
man.
lot.
For sure. Buenas noches.
Peace.
All right, so I'm gonna bring the last group in here, SIE, and I'm gonna bring in Royal. What's up, carnal? Yeah, so we've gone through a lot of stuff here, and I know there's way more that we haven't touched on. What's up, carnal? How you doing,
Oh,
man?
what's up, Brown 6?
Yeah, so like I know there's way more stuff that we haven't even touched on here. I mean, with the what, how many hours? 2 hours so far. I mean, this that's not enough to cover everything when it comes to like how to make a healthy change in your eating habits in your lifestyle, right? And
Yeah.
and that's why I kind of took it back to us being kids and how we were formed, kind of like molded to think a certain way, and just like Yvette had mentioned, like you got to take care of your emotional side también, your like your almost a mental health, because if you're not able to cope
That's
emotionally with certain situations and stress, then you start to link up bad eating habits in order to feel better about whatever you're going through. Like I do that. I feel stressed. I find myself eating. It's like sometimes we even do it subconsciously. Like that, it's already implanted in your head that it's just so hard you know, to disassociate from it, right? So like, I mean, what do you guys think about that?
yeah, it's very true. Yeah, the emotional part of it, I agree with that. Yeah, because you're depressed, you're gonna. A lot of people they turn towards food and they want to eat, and they just keep eating. I know for me, I know I could improve for sure. Um, like certain times eating, maybe like late at night. I tend to eat late at night, just whenever I get hungry. But yeah, no, it plays a big factor in your health for sure.
What do you think,
Michael,
say?
uh, what was the question? If we think like emotions play into our diet?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. Definitely, I definitely think what I mean. Eat off emotions for sure.
Like for example, like yourself, like when do you catch yourself like eating without even, like, for example, like some people can't eat sometimes in the evenings without watching TV. Now
Yeah,
that's a bad thing, like
yeah,
and I've caught myself doing that shit. Like I sit down and I, like, I finally get some food and I'm like, oh yeah, like that comfort. It's like that comforting,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that your thoughts already, your head's already preparing to sit, watch TV, and enjoying a meal. Like that's the what's it called? Like
It's like a
the
reward at the end of the day.
yeah, like a reward of the day, right? It's kind of like the same preparation goes with like a beer, right? You're about to open that beer. It's like you're already feeling the calmness before even drinking it, because you're about to be in that setting that you're gonna be comforted. You know what I mean? Sitting, watching something, maybe perhaps even laughing. You know what I mean? Whatever you're
Yeah,
watching, whatever. So you're already getting yourself comfortable for that situation. So it's like it's a whole process in your head before even actually being in that situation. That's crazy.
yeah. No, I agree, man. But I'll tell you, like with me, like I feel like when I eat emotionally, like what I mean? Like first I have to have the money to like do it. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like going to like fast food and doing all this crazy stuff as opposed to like, what I mean, just doing what I eat at home. But my problem is I only eat one time a day, and it's usually when I get home at night when I start smoking. And smoking weed is what affects my eating for sure, bro. Like I get high and eat everything in the house, you know what I mean, every night. And like you guys were telling earlier, hey, get off. Sorry, my dog. I'm pretty fucking addicted to sugar. You know what I mean? Like bad. Like I couldn't admit it for sure. Like, and I think it's bad because you know what I mean. Like I crave it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll fall asleep, wake up like at 2, and like bro, just go like to the kitchen, find if I got like cookies or something, something just to get the fix. Like it really feels like once I get, I'm like, okay, I'm cool. Which is weird, bro. Like I noticed like how fucked up sugar's got me. You know what I mean? So, to me, it's more like I think it just goes with lifestyle, you know what I mean? Which is not eating nothing all day and getting home super hungry and then just eating everything and then waking up the next day with my stomach hurting. So then I don't eat all day again until night. It's just a fucked up cycle and shit for sure.
So why do you do that? I mean, why do you only eat one meal a day?
Well, that's like when I'm busy, you know what I mean? When you on the go and
Oh,
shit,
okay.
a lot of times, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, if I'm not, and that's what I'm saying, like, there's a balance because, like, when I don't have a lot of work, I might be home a lot and I could eat, but then it's like, I probably don't want to spend a lot. And when I'm out in the street and shit, that's when I could spend a lot of money. So, like, I'll go to a fast food place at the end of the night and order like 2 combos or something. You know what I mean? Just because like, fuck it, I could spend $30 on food for me every day. You know what I mean? At certain times and shit. So it's like it's weird. For me, it's more like that. When I'm out getting it, when I'm out working and hustling, like you said, I feel like that's my reward to myself. You know what I mean? I'll just like get some fucking shitty food and shit.
Hey, speaking about food, I read something which I kind of already knew, but it's an important fact that everybody should know. If you don't know, anybody in the comments, top
Hmm.
ramen is very bad for you, and I forget what all the like that the side effects are, but I was reading it this morning, and yeah, it was going into detail about how bad it actually is, and it's really horrible for your health. Top
And then
ramen.
a lot of kids they do this even though it says on the cup not to do it. Microwave the liquid in the cup and leave it in there. Like you can't you shouldn't do that. Like you're supposed to dump it into like a bowl or something and then warm it up. Because it's the cup, the styrofoam, that's what holds all the whatever it is that's yeah, the chemical, whatever it is that, people are saying it's
Damn.
not good for you, but people they don't want to read the labels or something, but it's horrible, man. And the messed up part about it is that our culture is so like opposite sometimes that we uh we kind of glorify it, bro. And like the whole, what's it called, prison, the whole, like, prison life and all that, they glorify it, like, right? They break it up and make a little sopita and all that with different shit, and all that is just fucking horrible ass food, man. And like, it might taste good because it has a bunch of different fucking, like, what I mean, sugars and all that stuff, right? Starch and all kinds of shit that is just so like addicting to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, it goes hand in hand with the drug, bro. What is it, like heroin or something? That is like, it's hard to kick, bro. And it's like we glorify it, bro. Like if we truly do, like we see memes about like what, sopitas with all kinds of shit, and then like throw in the chips, throw in all these things that kids are already addicted to, but let's glorify it some more so they can continue that trend, right? It's fucked up, man. But yo, we got to stay um Bloom Wellness in the house.
Hello.
You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Wendy Bloom Wellness, Mexican American, gone through all of this, first gen Latina. So I totally get this, the concept of being, or not having access to healthy foods in our neighborhoods, growing up in the hood. You don't have access to that. You don't know what's out there. But I noticed with my parents, and listening to everything that everyone's saying, my mom tried her very best to give us like clean versions of the food as much as she could, but sometimes it's not always possible. So it is a balance of trying to figure out how much of this is society trying to keep us down, and like, do you recognize that this is what's playing a part in killing us and making us sick, and they want to keep you so tired because this is the capitalist way, right? You're being kept at work all day, you're tired as fuck, you don't want to come home and cook, so what do? You reach to the closest thing. It might be ramen, it might be something that, McDonald's nearby, something that's 99 cents. So your neighborhoods are surrounded by these places, but if you go to Pacific Palisades, what do they have there? Healthy options, right? Because policy people there are not too tired to go and vote and to change policy. So in those moments,
Wow.
you start thinking like, well, they're poisoning us because they know that if we join forces and we are together as a community, we're going to make change. We're going to change policy, and then we're going to fuck shit up. We do that, they can't fuck with us anymore. So as long as they keep us stupid and they keep us clouded and we can't make our own decisions, they keep on feeding us the poison, and they keep on breaking our families apart so that we have to do things and, go into a gang culture. Why? Because our parents are at work all day and we don't have anybody that loves us or supports us because they're too busy to do it now. So it's like it just continues to feed these cycles where then we go to jail, or we have family members that go to jail that went in as a regular guy, maybe, that got caught up in some mess, and now my cousin comes out of jail as a drug addict. Why? Because this is what they do. They're not protecting people there. They're not keeping drugs out of jail. They're doing whatever it is that they can do to make sure that we die or that we're fighting against each other, right? So it's really layered and complicated. And if we're not paying attention, if we're not aware, they're just helping us. Like we're helping them do the dirty work, right? You don't have to kill us. We're going to kill ourselves. Let me go and eat that shit. Let me go poison myself. And then you don't have to do the dirty work. I'm doing it for you. And then everybody wants to be, it's because I'm tired. It's because I'm sick. It's because, no, we don't have to be, because my mom was over here cooking nopales and frijoles and whatever she could. Why? Because that, like, we didn't have money to go to McDonald's, but that wasn't making us sick because that's what our people eat. And it was okay. So, yeah.
Wow.
Mike, I went on to rent now.
No, thank you for jumping on this.
That's
I
good.
love everything you said right now. I mean, like it makes sense. Like, and it's just
Yep.
what doesn't make sense is the hypocrisy. That's what doesn't make sense. That's what doesn't make sense. You know, government tells you one thing, but then do another, like show you another action. You know, public schools tell you one thing, teach one thing, but then show you something else. It's like, okay, so our children are seeing the two sides of the world, like that they're living in. They're seeing, the what they know is good, but then they see the bad right in front of them. Teachers is showing them the bad. Like we have, like I see a lot of like way obese teachers at school, but then they talk about, oh, eat all your vegetables, eat all your fruits. So it's like, how are you gonna tell this child to eat all your fruits when you're looking like that? Like I mean, let's be real. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yo,
know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
Hey, you want to know something? A lot of people they think that like being 50 years old is middle age, but actually, in your 30s, middle age. Most people, the average person nowadays, they don't reach till like like they don't make it past their 70s or 60s, 70s nowadays. So yeah, that's actually your 30s is when it's considered to be middle age nowadays.
yo,
Dang.
and Brown.
The only reason I think 50 is the middle age is because it makes sense, right? Because half of 100 is 50. But yeah, it's actually 30s.
Yeah, go ahead, Asai. You're about to say something?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say too. So what I wanted to touch on, like I came in kind of late, so I don't know if I heard anybody talk about like too much about exercise. You know what I mean? Like we're talking a lot about diet, which obviously is like super important, but I also feel like we got to push to exercise because as she said, like just the way of life today. You know what I mean? It's very what's the word, like sedentary or whatever. Like we really like have to put in extra work to go out of our way because like whether you want to talk in ancestral ways or even just here in America, like you know what I mean, like industrialization and before, like everybody's life was way more active. You know what I mean? Just doing everything. Everything was more active. So because we made our life so much easier, we have to push ourselves. But that's the thing that like a lot of people don't like hard work. A lot of people want to avoid what's hard, and you know what I mean, make it into a victim situation or if this and this when it's like, yo, it doesn't, it's not expensive to fucking, it doesn't cost you literally anything to do burpees in your room. You know what I mean? And I feel like for at least for me and maybe for other people, it sets off like a domino effect. You know what I mean? Like I realize how much I gotta stop smoking when I exercise because I don't have no lungs. You know what I'm saying? I realize how I like, damn, I gotta, I ate McDonald's yesterday and today I felt like shit during the work. I gotta eat better. You know what I mean? And it kind of starts feeding to a whole better lifestyle. You know what I mean? So like, even right now, man, like I'm super proud of my mom, dude, because she's turning 56, 57 this year, right? And in our lifestyle, like it was never like any exercise. Like I'm super about this shit because like my dad, like he was super obese, you know what I mean? And like like to me, bro, like I'm like I wish I was more aggressive on this shit. You know what I mean? I wish I would have flown down there, meal prepped on his ass, make sure he got his exercise. I wish I would have been even more aggressive on it because I'm like we can all agree that being obese is not healthy. You know what I mean? I understand the different body types and all that stuff, but being obese is just not healthy. You know what I mean? It's like sure we're all gonna look different, but at the end of the day, like it's just being overweight brings like your body, your joints, your lungs, your blood pressure, your diabetes, all this shit that we already know that it's not gonna be good. You know what I mean? So anyways, I was saying my mom, dude, She used to be overweight when I was like super young, but she like took it in her hands. I seen her being disciplined her whole life. Every day we go, like she'd be like unsweet iced tea, salad, like super clean eating. But she was never about exercise. She would always just be like, oh, whatever. Like she would just like throw it off, like it wasn't important. And to me, I started hearing more about the benefits of exercise for shit like Alzheimer's and shit like that. You know what I mean? And my mom, she always spoke about how she thinks like it's in her family and this and that. And I happened to one of our aunts or whatever, and like it's always been in the back of my head. I'm like, damn, as my mom gets older, you know what I mean? I heard like how exercise is one of those things that offsets that shit and like doing like, just new shit, you know what I mean? So like I inspired her, bro, to go try a jujitsu class, bro, and she kept doing it. And then like now she's doing like Zumba classes. She's doing all this, like she's doing like 2 hours of exercise like 5 days a week, bro. At 56, she started doing this. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that I like encouraged her enough to do this shit, because I just started, training as well. Like I was never into sports. I was a little fat kid and shit too, I never started exercising until like probably like 18, 19 and shit. But like now I feel like, I got to make up for lost time, because I wish I would have done it when my body was developing. You know what I mean? And I wish like, somebody would have pushed me, because my dad, like I said, his lifestyle was always get an education, get an office, big baller type shit that he was trying to be, which I appreciate. But all that shit didn't matter. He would know, it's like all this shit doesn't matter if you don't have your health. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Like he died during the Corona time, but I don't write it off like he died of Corona, because I know had he been healthy and not overweight and, all the other shit that comes with overweight, he would have just been fine. You know what I mean? So I know it's because he wasn't healthy beforehand, So to me, it's like I really don't have a lot of like patience with it, at least with people I love, because it's like, bro, like we already seen what the fuck happens. Like, when my brother, he's a little bit overweight, like I'll be like, we see what happens. You see what happened with my dad, bro. Like he was strong, and that's the reason why I feel, because he never, even though he was big, he was strong, he was good, he was like nothing. He was never sick until he got sick, and then it took him all the way down. You know what I mean? But before that, and I really think, bro, it's alcohol too, man, because he wouldn't eat a lot, but he would drink a lot of beer. And to me, it always tripped me out that I wouldn't see him eat a lot. But I really think that the empty calories and beer and shit really make a motherfucker like, blow up, dude. So yeah, dude, to me, I really like, that's like a point I'm trying to make in my life now. And like, I'm trying to get really good at like calisthenics, and I want to start like a calisthenics group and shit to inspire people. Cause like, to me, bro, it's like, once you start exercising, I feel like mental health gets better. You know what I mean? Your habits get better every day. Like you wake up like, with a new purpose. If it's a day off, you're like, shit, am I going to do this? If you're working, like every job you do, you kind of see it as a workout and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, I'm going on a rant now. But yeah, also, before I stop talking, I want to say, homie, your fucking tats are sick, man. I like the one on top of your lip. Man. Hell yeah, man. But yeah, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, bro. Now, first of all, bro, sorry for your passing of your pops, bro.
No,
And
for sure, Pritch.
este, like that's what we see though, bro. Like that's what we see, and it's sad that that no one told them like
Mhm.
that wasn't the thing back in Mexico, or back in I mean in for our ancestors, bro. That wasn't the thing to think about health. It was just what it is. They weren't that thought wasn't conceived like as for like, oh, let's have these talks about how we can get healthier. It was just eating natural until it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like until big corporations started coming in and making it look lucrative. Like, what I mean? Coca-Cola, what I mean? All the superstars drink Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Like, it's like once that started happening, it's like everyone jumped on board. Why? Because it was just a thing to do. Like, everyone was doing it, so it's the culture, right? And if you're not doing what the culture's doing, then you ain't the culture, and you get ostracized. You get basically looked down on. Like, pues, tú no eres mexicano, no comes enchiladas, no comes esto. No, you're not one of us. So you get kind of like pushed away. Like, oh, you want to be eating, instead of a burger, you want to eat, with a wrapped in salad. Okay, well, you ain't man enough. You ain't one of us. You know what I mean? So it's like that mentality, bro. And like, I hate that the fact that something in me still resides with that little bit of what I mean, insecurity of just not knowing any better, bro. And I think we all have that little bit in us that tells us, nah, pick that instead of this instead of that. You know what I mean? And that's what keeps us from progressing, bro. This
Well,
lack of wanting to do better.
if I can interject, part of
Yeah,
it,
go ahead, go ahead.
take it all the way back. It's really like let's fucking take it all the way back. If we go back to being colonized, and our men having to watch our women getting raped and all that shit, then what happens? Then there's alcoholism. Why? Because now these men are they're trying to deal with that trauma, and it just carries on. So if we fucking take it back to that, it's like our men are still, they don't speak about what's going on. They're holding on because they were taught, like, machismo has a bad rap, but when it was initially, like, the main thing of machismo was to protect your family, there's some good stuff to it, right? Well, we forget about that shit. We're just like, oh no, let's throw it away. It didn't work. Fucking Mexican men are shit and they're like this and they want to control. No, at some point, that's not what it was. They were out there working to protect their family, to make sure everything was okay. So they were doing their job. Then what happens is these other motherfuckers come through. They do what they need to do. Then it's like our men now are threatened. Now they have all this trauma running in their blood and their DNA. And this is how they're responding. So now everything's a threat. So we haven't healed all of that. And if our men are not healing all that and we continue to move forward year after year after year, it continues to get passed on and nobody's dealing with it. Nobody's talking about it. So our men keep on going and doing drugs. They keep on womanizing. They keep on doing all the bullshit, all the addictions, anything that's going to distract them from dealing with the fucking problem. So it doesn't stop. And it's like a lot of people are just like, no, they're just bad men. Let's just throw them away. And like I told my mom, if you talk down to my dad, you're emasculating him. And he's already living in a fucking society where everybody else se dice que no vales madre. So now you come home and then you have to put up with that shit from your own family. It's like, again, we're colonizing each other. We're doing their fucking job over and over again. And that lack of awareness is what fucks us up. It's like we can go to school all day long and do all these things, but for us, brown people, all we're doing is we're infiltrating these spaces. And you have to be very, very careful in those spaces because when you're in there, it's like this, I'm here to get in. And when I'm far enough in, then I have to move up the scale. Then I have to be very strategic in moving through so that I can pull other people up, so that I can actually spread the message so that our people can hear it. Because even when I've run a mentoring program, what do I hear from the kids? Yeah, miss, well, that person is white. That's why I can't do what they can do because they're white. So it's like, I need to go out there and look for more brown people to help so that they can see themselves in these, so they can see the possibilities. So it's part of our responsibility because once we fucking know the truth, aunque te digan, it's like, oh, I'll go do something. And it's like, no vas a comer eso? No, no, gracias. And it's very much, no te hace daño, no vas a engordar. All this bullshit, right? Why? Because it makes them uncomfortable that you're making a better choice. So if you're fucking in the dirt, misery loves company, right? They want you to go fuck with whatever they're doing to make themselves feel better. But when I stood my ground for a long time, then you see them switching. So if I go to a party, then they're like, oh, they brought some of the salads and stuff. They'll bring the ensalada de nopales and whatever. Now they're not trying to make me eat the nasty shit, but I had to stand my ground. And at first you come off as hard-headed, but it's not that. It's that I saw my grandma dying and I saw her with the pacemaker and I saw the diabetes and I saw her knees blowing up and all this shit. It's a painful life to live. And is that what I want for me? No. And I remember after she passed away, I still went to the gym and I'm doing lunges and thinking, I was fucking crying and thinking, I need to do it because she couldn't. And these are opportunities that we have to change it around. And so if you can, and you can take your kids to the park to run around, take them out there. That's free, and it's like a lot of us don't go out and walk in our neighborhoods. Why? Because it's not safe. But it's our own people. We're terrorizing each other. You know what I mean? So it's making our spaces safer for ourselves, talking to the neighbor, making yourself known so that people are taking care of your family because we thrive in community. That's always been the case, but they've done such a good job in instilling this fucking capitalist view of individualism in all of us that we're just separate. Because again, they know that our power is in numbers and in joining forces. So we just got to keep moving. You guys are doing the fucking work. And it's not like the whole drinking situation. It's not because there's anything wrong with our men or our culture. It's because they're hiding from the trauma. So the more you guys keep on talking about this, the more you do create circles And if you want to start like an exercise thing, do it. Do it. Invite the dudes to come out so that they can have safe spaces to become better men. Because we need you guys. We need you guys to keep on stepping up and doing this.
Wow. Oh yeah, we. Do you happen to have you know, like a podcast or something like that?
I do.
You need to share it on here. I mean, can you talk about that? Because you have a lot of you're very knowledgeable with this, and that's what you know, I try to like, you know, be around people like yourself, and you know, try to surround myself around, you know, like-minded people that want change. You know what I mean? That want to talk change and not just, you know, bullshit around. You know, like you wanna. I mean, you mind talking about
Yeah.
that?
We started, I don't know if you know Cynthia Marquez. She used to go by Spiritual Chingonex. And her and we started a podcast called Truth Tuesday. So in that space, we're talking about our own trauma, just to share and like bring light to what's really going on with a lot of our lives. Because unfortunately for us, if we are knowledgeable about things, it's because we've gone through some shit, right? We've seen some things. So people forget that. They feel like if you're in a certain space or you have certain language, you don't know, like you don't know struggle. But it's like, if I understand anything, is how difficult it is to get out of those holes, because my family's gone through it. We've seen it over and over again. And if ever, like, I remember at some point, I grew up in Southgate, and I remember at some point my dad not having enough money for us to eat because he had an accident. And, you know, like food stamps and all that shit, like, they don't help everybody. Like, they don't just sign it off. So people have these misconceptions about all of these, I guess, benefits that poor people have. Like, they didn't help us with anything. My dad was literally counting pennies out of a bucket to make sure we can have a sandwich. And that's a kind of struggle that you don't even, like, people don't even know. They don't know what kind of nightmares our people go through just to make ends meet. So we wanted to talk about that in these spaces, because we want to be forgiving and we want to empower like people to know that they have choices, because they've done a really good job at telling us, hey, you can't be this, you can't do that, you can't enter this space, you can't go to school. uh, and it's like, no, there's no one way to do it. So even with flow, like, we like to work with the youth because we like to empower them and give them choices. So like I said in the podcast, it is about letting people know, hey, in relationship spaces, that is where we heal. And you heal in relation to your wife or your girlfriend or your mother or your sister, like in your brother. That's how we heal. Those are the relationships that really matter. And people don't talk about it enough. It's like they get so caught up in buying the new Jordans and spending money and going to the new spot. It's like, that's not what it's all about, because we're running away. We keep on running away from our problems, and really we're running away from ourselves. So that was why we started the podcast. And I think, you know, one of the things we were talking about is forgiveness. And on my journey, I went to Michoacan, I want to say in November, and they had, like, everybody was tripping out because it's like, oh, el cartel, que tanto, y ten cuidado. And I'm like, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm not going to start any trouble. I'm going to go on this journey. And I went on a mushroom journey, and for sure, like, I saw all of my ancestors. I saw so much pain and hurt that all I could think of is, in order for us to heal all that anger that we carry, we have to forgive. But you can't get to that space until you're ready. And if I can't honor my anger and how pissed off I am about all the things that I've gone through, no me sirve de nada, you know? So I've had to learn how to befriend my anger. And that's one of the talks we have, because I even went to a rage room and I'm like, well, if I'm beating the shit out of a barrel, I don't go to jail, right? But other people are able to release that anger. And anger is not a bad thing. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's something we have suppressed. And it's like teaching each other. It's like, what's a better option of doing this? And maybe I have to go pay $40 to go break some shit. But I'm like, you know, we can do it in our backyard. Stupid. They're going to call the cops on you. But it's things like that that we talk about, because it is important that we talk about vulnerable stuff like that. People judge us. They look at us and they think we're crazy, or you're out of control, or you're too sensitive. Why are you crying? So, you know, that's
Yeah.
why we do that. Soon enough, we want to have space for I think we have to go through some like release form and waiver stuff, but we want to have men come on the show too to talk about their experience, because it's important that, again, that we teach each other a safe space to have conversations with the opposite sex too, because it can be a safe space. It doesn't always have to be this like a romantic thing or, you know, a violent thing. We can heal with one another because we have a lot of medicine for each other.
Yeah, that's dope. I love that. I love that. Now we really need to link up and work on something together because I'm you're very inspiring. Now this last thing before we wrap it up, when it comes to like guiding people into the right path of eating better, what would you guys suggest would be like the steps to take to get there? Because I mean, you know, in this conversation, in the almost 3 hours that we've been on, um, they brought up like things like detoxing, fasting, all these things, but like to be able to be successful, because like there's diets for days, right? There's diets you can take for days, a keto, all these things, but it's really easy to regress. It's really easy to like, just do it for a week or a month, or and then eventually if you're not strong enough to be able to go the whole way, you go backwards, like you even gain more weight than you started off with. So it's like, what would you guys suggest will be the successful way to actually beat this? What would be the starting point? I mean, where would you guys guide them to? Whoever wants to start first.
I would say, man, focus on the vegetables, and a lot of people don't like eating vegetables, but if you eat, just even a small amount of it, I mean, that'll kind of fill you up. Waiting is really important too. Like, just eat a small portion or just like a portion, and then just wait. If you wait, then your food will settle, and then you will lose that hunger. But it's easier said than done. A lot of people are impatient, like myself, and I'll just eat and I'll keep eating. But I noticed that has worked for me in the past. Like, I'm not even realizing it. It's kind of like I'll eat something, and then I'll wait, and then I won't be hungry.
Or my turn. Um, so I don't know. I saw Mega Man was here earlier. Did he talk about Dr. Sabi? I know he's always posting about it. Did he
Yeah, he
mention it?
did talk about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I honestly, like, I'm on that too, man. I would think that like a lot of our answers have already been found. You know what I mean? There's a lot of data that we could really look at, and like you said, there's a lot of contradicting shit in nutrition. I look at it a lot. You know what I mean? As a caterer and shit, and I started getting into meal prep, and I really, really want to just like cook for athletes. You know what I mean? Do meal prep for athletes and stuff. But I know I'm gonna have to learn a lot more about nutrition and like the very like specific shit and whatnot. But like, if you ask me, dude, I think that man brought already like the knowledge we need, and I know it's a little bit controversial. You know what I mean? And like, especially even like we're talking about eating meat and stuff. Like, I don't believe in just being completely vegan your whole life, but I do think that there's certain times where you may have to do it for certain purposes. You know what I mean? Like, even in like, what is it, the Socratic oath, even in the Greeks and shit, they say like, let food be your medicine, medicine be your food. I feel like in certain times, like maybe in your life, like if you're planning to do this or you're sick or you're healthy, like your diet's gonna have to change accordingly. You know what I mean? But I do think that you could cure most of the things, if not all, with diet, but it's intense. You know what I mean? It's not just once a day type shit. Like, the whole thing about Dr. Sabi's that supposedly cure like AIDS and the blind guy and all this type of stuff with just diet. And I believe he did it. You know what I mean? But it's not some easy shit that like, oh, just eat grapes in the morning. It's literally like fast. It's fucking like literally just garbanzo beans and this. Like, this man's so strict that he thinks spinach is a bad vegetable because it's man-made. He thinks like most of the fucking vegetables, like there's only like a list of approved vegetables that he has. You know what I mean? And their whole thing is about alkaline vegan. They're like the theory that your body has to be alkaline, not acidic. You know what I mean? And that shit just makes a lot of sense to me. And also that all disease comes from mucus. So if you could have your body clean from mucus, you're not going to have disease. And for that, he says that you should take black seed oil. So I take black seed oil every morning and shit. And I do realize when I forget for a while, like, I do get all stuffy and shit like that. So like that's their theory. It's like if you keep the body free from mucus and on the alkaline side rather than acidic, you'd be good. And like I said, he got his knowledge, bro. He said it many times. He got it first. He from the Nation of Islam, how to eat to live. But then he revised that, refined that into more even deeper shit when he went to Mexico and met this Mexican doctor that taught him the ways of like, just I don't know how he learned it in like some kind of, indigenous Mexican traditions or something. But like you guys were talking about earlier, he touched on that too. Just eating where you're from. You know what I mean? Like he always said that, like, if a lion from Africa has to eat the food from Africa, like certain wolf from here has to eat. So like it's really important for us to eat the food that we're from, like they said, in the season, all that shit. But I don't think that meat is a bad thing, but the portion size, you know what I mean? Now in our diet, it's like a big ass steak and a little bit vegetable sides. I think it has to be more balanced for sure to where.
Hey, what's up? Just finishing up this last portion of talk that we're about to that we were just discussing. So I had Asai talking about what he was just talking about here on the live. So we're gonna bring him back in and finish up that conversation in regards to how what will we people into the right way of starting this a successful diet. You know what I mean? See, bring Asai back in here. Okay. Man. Yeah, my bad, bro. I had it on mute, and I was telling you that it's about to kick me out in 5 seconds. But
For
yeah,
sure.
man, go ahead. What were you were saying? In regards to
I was just
where we can guide people.
Yeah, I was just saying that, you know what I mean? But that being said, like it's not something I practice today, you know what I mean? I take a lot of principles from it and try my best, you know what I mean? But like I said, I eat a lot of fast food. I eat McDonald's today. I'm like I'm not practicing that shit yet, you know what I'm saying? But like I know that that's what I'm trying to work towards, you know what I mean? And I do want to just I don't know, I really think that that's the answer for, you know what I mean? Like for humans, you know what I mean? Just the alkaline shit and all that stuff. But like I said, I don't think we got to rule out meat completely. I just think we got to make it more balanced to where it's, you know what I mean, like a 20 20 20 20. Because like I said, I do really think that there's a fucking problem today, and I'm not one that I don't want to sit here and ask the system and be like like you mentioned about the school and shit right now. Like I come from free school lunch and shit, so I know what it is, and it should probably be healthier too. But I just don't, you know what I mean? If we're asking them for shit, I don't think we can expect anything good. You know what I mean? It comes about doing for ourselves, and you know what I mean? Stop like, being like, oh, because like I understand all the systemic shit, 100%, but to a certain point, like we gotta understand that's what they're here for. They're here to try to fuck with us. You know what I mean? Like now they're changing the terms of like bad foods to where I hear in schools they can't even say food is bad. It's just like a different choice. Like they, you know what I mean? Shit that's sick, bro. Like I don't know if you saw a little bit I posted on my story, bro. There was a billboard by my house that had like a fucking people like doing flips with milk, and it said milk hydrates better than water, and ad paid by I don't know who, bro. But like literally, like we gotta understand we can't like they're not the enemy's never gonna do nothing positive for us. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no fucking reason to ask them for anything better. It's about educating each other. Like I said, if you know what I mean, more people like Mega Man be talking about on his platform. I be trying to throw a little information out there about that shit. So I really think that that's the way, you know what I mean, and push more exercise on our people. You know what I mean? Not have excuses for our like especially our young boys to not be strong and shit, growing up strong. Like I heard that a long time ago in a stick song for a fucking Dead Prez. He says, "Strength is to youth, what wisdom is to old folks." And that fucking hit me because like for the longest time I was trying to be smart. As a young kid, bro, I cared about being the smartest, you know what I mean, reading and all this. And that was cool. But at the same time, like as a kid, bro, you're supposed to focus on being a strong kid. The wisdom is gonna come with you with experience, regardless. You know what I mean? So I really think that, like them putting a stigma, the sister over here talked about on our brown men and, our natural tendency to our little boys, I mean, they're going to like to fight. Instead of beating it out of them and telling them it's wrong, we got to put them in the gym, put them with little boxing gloves and teach them the discipline and how to do little things properly. You know what I mean? So I really do think that we just got to preach, like you said, better diet and more exercise. You know what I mean? And like, I understand, the whole, tolerance and patience stuff, but at the same time, we got to understand that that's an attack, bro. I really think that those are attacks on our people to try to fucking pacify the problem, which is that our people are fucking obese. Like I come from El Paso, Texas, which is like when I was there, I think it was like the third fattest city in the country. You know what I mean? We're also like one of the most illiterate. You know what I mean? So I think that that's not a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? So like it's on purpose, bro. They try to keep us dumb and fat. You know what I mean? Because we can't really do shit at that point.
Dang, that's a whole lot right there, bro. You hit it around the dot, bro. I mean that it is that, and that was gonna be something else. I mean something that I mentioned earlier too. Like, are we being targeted? You know what I mean? Like that's another thing. Like, but Wendy, what do you think? What are your last words on this? In regards to guiding people into the right diet, like what would you say to that?
I feel like it's more of a holistic approach, right? It's not just one thing, it's how we do everything. And it is, you do have to move. And because people are so busy, it's like creating spaces for kids to move safely, for families to move safely. Um, Providing people with choices, because it's like with the whole, there's a lot of studies that show that depending on like your DNA, your body processes certain foods better. If you're Asian, you can process rice better than other people, right? So that's okay for you to do. But when we go to a gym, for example, right away, carbs are the enemy. Or they talk about our corn like that's bad, but that was good for our people. So being very respectful about your lineage and the types of diets that work for your people. And that sounds crazy, but yeah, like you were saying, if the lions from Africa should be eating stuff from Africa, like that really is important. So having that knowledge and sharing that information, because what we're doing is this like colonizing of the minds, and just very much like this is the diet, the American diet is the best way to do it. And that's not the best way to do it. There is no one size fits all approach, but also honoring your body and what is your body asking you for, and paying attention to yourself, being in so much awareness that you know if I eat that, that's going to make me like it's going to give me inflammation, it makes me sick. So that internal knowledge that you have, only you have that, nobody else has it. And that's important to do. It's like you have to honor yourself. It's important. And if you do want to go eat whatever kind of crap, that's really a choice that you're making. Pero también it's like giving people choices so that they're showing up and knowing that, hey, it's like I noticed, like he was saying, right? When I work out, if I'm gonna eat McDonald's, then I feel bad about it because then my energy levels. So the other thing is when you're exercising more, you're breathing better. When you're breathing better, you're connecting with your body. So it's like all these levels of awareness that you're going to hit once you get there, because everything is connected. And if you're living in Watts and you're hearing drive-bys all the time, you're going to be more traumatized than the guy that lives in Irvine. So a lot of your energy is going to be into fighting that. So also paying attention to how these environmental factors are playing a role in your mental health and your body and the choices that you make because you're so tired. But yeah, just making it sustainable changes, letting people know you have choices. It's like present them, don't shame them into it. Just be like, hey, you can have the frijoles or you can have the McDonald's. And, these are the diseases that come with each. Porque si te fijas, if you're eating all the junk food, you keep on eating, no te llenas. So it's like letting people know. It's like, do you notice that when you eat certain things, it's like if I go buy a bag of Doritos, I can probably eat the whole bag, and so I don't do it because I already know that's almost programmed, because when I was a kid, that was accessible. So, and I see moms doing it too. Si están cansadas, here's a bag of Cheetos, here's some gummy bears, shut up, here's an iPad. So it's like we're not being present. And if we are present, even when we're eating, we're always in a rush. If you notice, a lot of us will sit down, eat really fast, and then we take off, right? We're never present. So we've always been in a rush. So in order for us to really approach the issue, we have to be present and we have to present people with options instead of the shaming, instead of like name calling, instead of, like again, the whole like estás gorda o te ves mal o estás más bonita si bajas de peso, all that stuff, it needs to stop. We need to stop trying to control our people through shame. Like we've had enough of that through society. So I think that if that makes any sense, I think it's really layered. It's really complicated, but giving people options so that they have a buy-in in what they're doing for their bodies.
Yeah. No, I dig that for sure. Like, I can see that. I can see a lot of that, what you just said. Like, all of that is relevant, very, very relevant to our people. Um, and yeah, it's a chain reaction. You know what I mean? It's a chain reaction. We don't stop. We show the same things to our kids. Their kids are going to suffer the same way that they're suffering. It's just going to keep on going. So it's like, I mean, it's in our favor to change it, right? It really is. this government is not going to ease up. They're not going to back down. So the worst in our communities, they're gonna, they're gonna. I'm pretty sure they're gonna elevate it. I mean, they ain't gonna stop there. So if they're gonna elevate their game and we stay in the same place, the same thoughts, not changing anything, then we're fucked. We're really fucked.
But one thing I want to ask about, like how you would Bloom Wellness, like how you would deal with it. So like, and I understand, maybe like not the shame or whatever, but like, I'm just looking at it, if it was like a drug addict, like you know what I mean, I don't think there'd be a lot of like patients like, hey, you have to fucking change or you're gonna die. But I feel like it'd be wrong to tell somebody that's overweight that for some reason. You know what I mean? So I don't really think it's shame, but like if you see your brother doing crack every day, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You know what I mean? But with this other one, I feel like there has to be like a sugar coating of, well, maybe, you know what I mean? So what is your opinion on that?
And I think it goes back to like it's a mental health issue, right? What are they coping? They're trying to cope with something. They're trying to
Mm.
fill a need. If I don't feel good, what am I doing? I'm reaching out for the food because that's going to create endorphins and like all these good feeling hormones in me. So then I keep going to that. But it's a temporary fix, right? So because again, we're not addressing the real issues. And I mean, if we really go into it, a lot of the problems that cause this overeating is a lot of sexual abuse and a lot of crazy shit like molestation that happens within the households or within families, or sometimes we are living with like mixed families and things happen there, but everybody keeps it quiet. And what happens is like it starts manifesting as illness or cancer or all these other things. So again, it's just about addressing the root of what's really happening within our families, because if we're not talking about it, we're never going to fix it. Because even at any kind of addiction, whether it's food, candy, exercise, any kind of addiction, it really is trying to cope and having that compassion. And it's hard to teach people compassion. So it's like we go through it, y si te desesperas, you're going to be like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you killing yourself? Why are you like shoving this down your throat? Like, don't you get it? And I think even I've spoken to some family members, but the more gentle approach was like, I saw grandma suffering and you saw all of her organs shutting down. You saw that, right? It's like, do you want that for you? And even then it's like, oh, it's my life. Because my grandma, I'm telling you, she was suffering y le seguía. She knew. I mean, I would go to therapy with her and they would tell her how to eat. Y ella decía, pues es mi vida, voy a comer lo que yo quiera. So I was like, you know what? It's also, I'm respecting her choice. If this is the way she wants to do it, I'm going to give her that choice. That's her life. But if I have to cook for her, I'm not going to be cooking like that for her. But if we were at hometown buffet, she wants to go to hometown buffet as soon as viejita, it's her birthday. I don't know that I can fund that, but I can't stop other people from doing that. So it's just like you do your part. You do what you can do to set the example. We have to walk the talk. That's really what we have to do. So if I'm embodying it, I'm not being a hypocrite. And it's like, so I have to work out and people see it. If they want to come with me, they're invited. And I've done this. I've created communities and it'll be everywhere I go. So I think that's what you can do. You can kind of set a standard. And I would even take people to eat. We would go all together out to eat and I would watch people. They're watching you eat. I've mentored young girls. They watch you eat and then they emulate it. And then I've seen them take their moms out to restaurants and teach them how to eat. So it's just about that, right? Setting an example and do what you can, what's in your power. And if it's in your heart and it's your passion, create that group. And if you're doing the catering, provide these healthy meals. And if you feel like getting educated on this stuff, share the knowledge. That's the only way we're going to do it, because people don't understand. They don't understand chemicals. That's really complicated for them. They're not going to do all that work. And if that's our gifts, it's our responsibility to share. So I think that's the best way to tackle it. Because if they don't know, if you tell someone that's a drug addict, hey, the reason you're doing this is because you're trying to cope with some of the pain, and I see you, brother, then they're going to be like, oh shit, that is what it is. Because they're not doing it for fun. But if we keep on thinking, oh, they're just stupid and they like to do this, that doesn't help them either. It's like, it's that compassion, right? So if you can see everybody that's dealing with these addictions, whether, like I said, it's food-based, drug-based, whatever, alcohol, if you can see where it's coming, it's like, I see you're praying. I can really see you. And I see that you're trying to cover this up because it hurts you that much. They may actually go and seek some help and maybe go see a therapist, or maybe go to a curandero, or go to a plática or something. And that helps people, and it helps men grow, and it helps women grow and evolve. And that's really what gives you options, right? When you see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, you start making changes because you see you have hope in your life. And that's what we want to give people, hope. Because if you're hopeless, you're going to keep on doing all this shit because you feel like your life is worthless. So reminding people, instead of making them feel like shit because we've been abused all our lives, let's stop. Let's stop with that like negative language. Like, let's stop trying to colonize our own people. It's like we stop with that, because like I said, we're doing the job of this other like population that really wants us gone. And if people understand that, when I shared that even with some of my brown kids, I said they want the two of you, they want black and brown kids fighting, because if the two of you kill each other, they don't have to kill you, they don't have to do the dirty work because you're taking care of it. So it's just very small reminders. And if you're in that position of power and here we are speaking and people can hear us, use your voice for that. Share the knowledge, share the compassion, and you show up in those ways. And I want to challenge you. You said you want to start a group, like start a group, do it. And if you need support, and if you're in the LA area, hit me up. I think if we help each other, that's the way to really, really do this. That's how we implement change.
Hell yeah,
Sure.
appreciate it.
Sure. No, thank you guys for joining in, and you guys made a lot of good points, a lot of knowledge, and that's what we need. We need to like they say, each one teach one. We got to teach our own, where we're lacking. I mean, I don't know all the, I don't have all the answers, but as a collective, we come up with the right solutions, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, we have a good night. I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. If you know anyone that likes these type of talks and stuff, make sure you let them know. Like every Thursday, I'm going live at 8 p.m. And that they're welcome to join in. It's a very welcoming environment. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to get people's point of views. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get everyone's point of views with this. Trying to ask the right questions. Sometimes controversial, but sometimes that's what we need to have. Sometimes we need to look at both sides of the coin. But yeah. So if you know anyone, let them know. And also if you know anyone that has a platform that that maybe I can join. You know what I mean? Please let me know that way, because I love being a part of conversations like this. So it's thank you.
We're doing
For
it.
sure.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I want to say to her, for sure, I already followed you, but yeah, anytime I'll be down to jump on yours too. And same shit, I did want to plug my, well, there's like 7 people in here, but yeah, if they want to go follow the catering business, that's at the Bomb Enchilada and stuff. I do try to, sometimes share some health, recipes and stuff there. And yeah, like you said, I am gonna start that group coming this summer, hopefully. So it's gonna be called Bars Not Bars, and I'm gonna try to do it like Thursday, Friday nights. When people are supposed to go to bars to drink, I'm telling them like come to the park and do it. Like the free calisthenics parks. You know what I mean? And do like pull up bars, dip bars, all that type of shit. So yeah, that's already something we've been working on and shit. So it should be coming hopefully in the summer. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me on, bro, for sure.
That's dope, man. Bars, not bars.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Oh yeah, bro.
That's
And you
dope.
gotta
Appreciate it.
get sponsored to some protein bars too.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh,
We'll see
shit.
what goes down.
Another element to it. That's what's up, man. Yeah, hey, for sure. Thank you guys, and have a good night.
For,
Appreciate
All
for
it.
right.
sure.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Bye.
Night.